What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. 5 Su Chapter 85 Abnormal Development Open black lens bracket Bobo City close black lens bracket The giant sea tomb that covered the sky disappeared. Countless people in Bobo were so frightened that they knelt down to pray, thinking that God had abandoned them. The Holy Royal Family, who were several kilometers away, also saw this situation, and they all showed excited and ferocious expressions. How many years have passed, the vast ocean trench has been frightening them, and left a deep shadow in their hearts. Finally, the ocean trench disappeared, and now it's their turn again. A beautiful woman about 20 years old was running excitedly with her dress in hand. At first, he was still a little unsure. After looking left and right, he excitedly hugged Shin-Zi's neck. "Big brother, I thought you weren't coming back." Shin-Zi looked at her in astonishment. The little girl who could be picked up in his arms a few days ago has now grown to a height of 1.7 meters, with a curvy figure and a feminine charm. The other teammates also looked like they had seen a ghost. The time span was too big. "Come on, let me show you around our city." "Good." At that time, the colonial city was almost destroyed, but the Bobo people rebuilt it again. The streets are tidy and a sewage system has been installed, so it doesn't stink so much. It has been 10 years since they left. The colonial city has turned into a city of Bobo people. The annual economic benefits are around thousands of gold coins, and Shin-Zi can share 10% of the economic benefits, which means he can get 100 gold coins every year. There are about 10 gold coins in some dungeons, and there are indigenous shopping malls, which can be used to buy things and bribes. Sharing city economic penalties, you get 10% gold coins. Obtained. 1027 gold coins. Bang bang. Yellow-orange gold coins appeared in the warehouse. Since Big Brother left, we have entered a period of confrontation with the Holy Royal Family. After they tried several times to no avail, they retreated to the foot of the mountain. It seemed that they were afraid that we would attack their castle on the top of the mountain, so we gained time to develop, and got in touch with the Bobo people of the Northern Resistance Army. They taught us to train our troops and formulate a defense plan. Peeved. How can we Bobo people have the strength to attack them? Xiao Chongchong chuckled, then shook her head mockingly. "So you're in charge of the city now?" "In charge? No, I'm the chief administrative officer of the city now." The village chief was the last chief administrative officer. After he left, I took over his position. Fortunately, the whole city did not decline because of me, but became prosperous. Xiao Chongchong raised her head as she spoke. A childish attitude of waiting for praise from parents. "Well done," Shin-Zi said with a smile, and then touched her head habitually. Xiao Chongchong smiled contentedly. "I'm here to help you eradicate the fortress on the mountain and restore peace to this area. If you want to live a good life, you have to work hard on your own. Do you understand?" Eradicate the fortress? Xiao Chongchong's eyes brightened instantly. She had no doubt at all. If her elder brother said she could do it, she would definitely do it. Advertisement excited, she stepped forward and pecked Shin-Zi on the cheek. "Brother, you marry. Ah, it's so cool." Before Xiao Chongchong could say anything, she felt her lips were numb with coldness, and she couldn't say anything. Shin-Zi smiled bitterly and touched his cheek, thinking that this was the disadvantage of the undead profession. Xiao Chongchong was suffering from undead paralysis, which was more terrifying than the extreme cold. After reminiscing about old times, Xiao Chongchong covered her mouth and couldn't speak for a long time. She could only take out one box and hand it to Shin-Zi. Open the box and a prompt will sound. Obtain. Sacred Royal Family Defense Line Distribution Map. Obtain. Antidote 5. Can temporarily prevent ancient disease infection. Obtain. Qualification for inheritance of magic body. At level 25, you can change jobs, obtain a new job, or you can directly inherit and increase basic attributes. Obtain. Castle structure diagram. Things are quite well prepared. Thanks, let's go. Shin-Zi waved his hand at Xiao Chongchong, and then nodded slightly to other teammates. Suddenly, Xiao Chongchong took a step forward and said vaguely. "According to the intelligence from the front line, there are people who call themselves professionals and come from the same place as you. They have set up a dragnet specifically to target you, big brother. A professional from Lee's company? The accounts between us really need to be settled carefully." At the same time, the top floor of the Lee building. The beautiful woman lay motionless on the ground, blood spreading under her body. Li Xinggang's face was covered with golden stripes. As the golden light lit up like breathing, the golden light strips spread along the eye sockets and towards the depths of his head. "General Black Sun, obey your order. I will take you out. We have advanced medical treatment here that can solve your problem." "I will definitely take you out, absolutely, but before that, I have to kill Shin-Zi first." Li Xinggong stared, his eyeballs were covered with spreading golden lines, converging towards his pupils. There was obviously no one around, but he kept mumbling. "You, the lowest level of bastards, should always be trampled under my feet. How dare you resist? I want you to watch with your own eyes as your hopes are shattered bit by bit. I will trample you under my feet again." Advertisement. Death guessing. I, Li Xinggong, have laid a killer trap. Shin-Zi will die within 3 days. Open black lens bracket yes close black lens bracket open black lens bracket no close black lens bracket. When he met this option, he directly lost all his net worth. There are so many zeros that we can't even count them. After doing all this, he stood up unsteadily. "General Black Sun, I will always be loyal." A twisted vortex appeared in front of him, and his figure gradually disappeared into it. Only the beautiful woman lying on the ground, lifeless, was left. The blood is still flowing outward. The life and death bed appears directly at the top of Lee's company's official website. He was the first to confuse the employees of Lee's company. Damn it, can I still get into this class? Is the boss crazy? Want to create a Chin-Z and let the entire company enter? I don't want to lose my job, my loan hasn't been paid off yet. Well, I just voted $1,000 for Chin-Z. The odds difference of nearly 8,000 times is so delicious. My mother, the boss is at odds with Chin-Z, is that what it is? Employees within the company are talking wildly. The two ladies at the front desk were even more excited. The big one is coming. Suddenly, a shadow blocked the light in front of them. The two were stunned for a moment, then looked up and saw a middle-aged man wearing a straight suit and a kind smile standing in front of the counter. There is a calm masculinity. Hello, I'm from the Lee family headquarters and I'm here to inspect the company, the man said politely. The two ladies at the front desk looked at each other and were speechless. What's wrong? Don't you go online? I'm not interested in that stuff. Our boss just gambled away the company, middle-aged man. Chapter 86. The show is on. Lee Building, the glass elevator is rising. People standing inside will feel as if they have the entire city under their feet. Two ladies at the front desk were standing in front, whispering. His eyes occasionally glanced behind him. The middle-aged man stood there meticulously, with a serious expression and full of adult boredom. There was no excessive emotion or desire in his eyes. Ding! The elevator door slowly opens. The two front desk ladies came to the door of the top floor office together, then turned around and said politely. Hello sir, this is our boss's office. Well, he should be in the main dungeon now. I'll try to contact him. You guys open the door first and I'll wait for him inside. The middle-aged man glanced down at his watch, and then said in a tone that left no room for doubt, talk. Oh. The two ladies at the front desk didn't dare to question, they nodded quickly and opened the door. The next second, scarlet liquid came into view, scaring them so much that they hugged each other and screamed. The middle-aged man frowned slightly and strode forward. Someone died. Did he call the young lady and kill him while having fun? The body has been completely cool. Visual inspection shows that it is a middle-aged woman and not a young lady. There is only one possibility. This person is Li Xinggang's wife. Someone assassinated her, or he killed his wife himself. Do you recognize the identity of this body? The middle-aged man inspected the body, then turned to look at the two front desk ladies who were hugging each other and shivering. The next second, he turned the body over. His face had been smashed, and there were large holes in his abdomen and chest, with his internal organs flowing out of them. The two young ladies knelt down and vomited wildly. Li Xinggang's wife, the middle-aged man continued to ask. The young lady at the front desk continued to vomit. However, one of them nodded. When the middle-aged man saw this, he sighed immediately, then stood up slowly, took out a handkerchief from his pocket and wiped the blood on his fingers. We are both of the Li family's blood, and it's really shameful to do something like this. If other aristocratic families know about it, they will definitely laugh at us. Linhai City's resources are still very important and cannot be transferred to the government. Advertisement. The middle-aged man stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling window with his hands behind his back, with a sweeping view of the entire city. It seems that the headquarters will have to take over. Call Li Xinggong out first. This farce ends here. In Mansion City, Bai Di was lying in front of the conference table board, and placed the waves directly on the table. In front of her was a group of senior people in suits and leather shoes, pointing at PPTs to report on various tasks. One after another, taking turns. The vocabulary was also about GDP, people's livelihood, economy, real estate, etc., which made her doze off. After another half hour, she finally couldn't bear it anymore. I'm just playing a main dungeon, why are you listening to these things? All the senior officials looked at her in astonishment. The mayor of the building is a man wearing glasses, LV.33. He stroked his glasses and said politely, Sir Bai Di, the main story dungeon is highly related to my city's economy. It's not just as simple as clearing customs, please be patient. After listening, I hope we can work out a response strategy together. You finally came here, and you don't want to come back without success, right? Bai Di made a desperate voice. She has been sitting here for 3 hours in a meeting. She also wants to have a drink at a famous bar in Mansion City. At this time, a ding-dong sound came from the mobile phone. When Bai Di opened it, his eyes widened suddenly, and he burst into laughter. It's interesting for me as a student. They actually forced Lee to bet the entire company. Ha ha ha, I can already imagine the wonderful expressions on those old antiques at Lee's headquarters. Just make a good student of mine, and I will help you as a tutor. Ah ha ha. The senior executives who were in the meeting suddenly looked at Bai Emperor helplessly. Hey, the odds are actually 879 to 1. My students' odds are 879 times? This is not possible. As a tutor, you must support your students. Put $1 billion in first. Bai Di held his chin in thought, and then clicked on the payment page. Since the amounts involved by professionals are generally very significant, the amount limit has long since been lifted. The building inside is complete. Crash. Countless zeros jumped up. Advertisement. Instantly the entire amount was raised by 1 digit. You invested $1 billion in it? The mayor of Mansion City was shocked when he saw Bai Di's operation. He still knew something about what happened in Linhai City. Tang Zhu even came to him specifically to buy equipment, but he refused. Now he didn't expect that things would develop to this point. Li's company and the official were completely torn apart. You are so shameless, and now you are putting pressure on the company. Do you think Qin Zi can crack the killer move set by Li's company? Li's company has been entrenched in Linhai City for decades and has many hidden tricks. If he can't fight, can't he run? Bai Di looked at him in surprise. Don't underestimate me as a student, he's a ghost. My 1 billion is just to support my students, and I have no intention of coming back. Oh, by the way, I'll help you solve the main dungeon problem, so why can't you help my students support themselves? Hurry up, throw 1 billion in, I'm almost dozing off just sitting here. Mayor of Mansion City. I'm sorry, the money in our finances is planned and cannot be used for personal purposes. As for simply supporting this kind of thing, we will never do it. Bai Di. Tisk, if you can't help with this little thing, then I won't listen. Let's go have a drink. Bai Di seemed to let himself go and jumped directly from the open window. Why? Etc. The mayor of the building city and others quickly ran to the window. The height of more than 10 floors was nothing to Bai Di. She was already walking on the sidewalk and turned back to show her middle finger. Senior manager of the building city, once the death betting is opened, it can only be closed by the initiator. Unfortunately, Li Xinggong has disappeared from the main dungeon and is nowhere to be seen. Now Li's company was in chaos, and even the headquarters of the super aristocratic family Li's was furious. I have worked hard to operate in Linhai City for decades, but now everything is blocked. Isn't this child's play? Other super families were watching the joke, and the entertainment media they controlled also added fuel to the fire. Hashtag surprise. There was a major chaos within Li's family, and all Li's companies in Linhai City were blocked. Li's hegemony is on the verge of collapse, and the bottom professionals are resisting. They panic and lose the company in a hurry. Deathkiss starts. Li's company launches a killing move to encircle and suppress Qin Zi, but is blown away by a palm and becomes a joke. Chapter 87. I am a natural disaster. On the rocky beach, boulders of 2 to 3 meters are leaning crookedly. The sentry of the Holy Royal family rode a reptile and kept swinging around among them. And there is also a big meatball monster. When it is close to the ground, many legs and arms stretch out, and then it is pulled and rolled forward. The skin is gray, giving people a sickly feeling. This was originally a grand canyon with a river flowing through the middle, but it seems to have dried up now. Lu Yang looked into the distance and said in a deep voice. It's more than that. Mu Shui looked around and said. There were still lush trees on both sides of the river, but they're gone now. I checked the guide when I went back. The ecology of this canyon is excellent. Many professionals have picked precious herbs, and there are also some wild beasts that can be used to gain experience, but now it's all gone. Look, the mountains ahead are bald, there is no green at all, and you can see the fortress clearly. Catwoman pointed to the castle in front, her voice very excited. It seems that in the past 10 years, the Holy Royal family's research on ancient diseases has become more and more frenzied, poisoning all creatures on the mountain to death. Qin Zi put his hand on his chin, thinking slightly. I don't know if their research progress has improved. As soon as these words came out, the other 4 people subconsciously touched the antidote in their pockets. It can barely help them resist ancient diseases or relieve them, and the duration is only 5 minutes. This is their life-saving straw. Ahem, foster father, how do you deal with the ancient disease? Let us have some confidence in our hearts. Lu Yang asked nervously. It's simple, fight fire with fire. Old diseases are strong, but mine isn't bad either. After hearing this, the other 4 people looked at each other in confusion, feeling uneasy. While speaking, Qin Zi, who was covered in white bones, was already walking towards the defense line of the Holy Royal family. Hey, wait a minute, you come back first. Should we be careful about the trap set by Li's company? The 4 of them were stunned when they saw Qin Zi walking out carelessly. Did you agree to take it easy? Lu Yang was stunned for a moment, and then rushed forward, trusting him unconditionally. Let's go, 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 go. If Qin Zi is not worthy of trust, then there will be no one in the world who can be trusted. What am I doubting? He is Qin Zi. Mu Shui also smiled and shook his head, then strode to follow. Catwoman. Meow, Sun Yunlong, wait for me, but soon, they realized a problem. Qin Zi didn't have any summons, so he just attacked him. Enemy attack, enemy attack, enemy attack, advertisement. When the Holy Royal family sentry saw someone approaching, they immediately started shouting everywhere. Golden streaks have appeared on the sacred crystals between their eyebrows and spread on their foreheads. This means that they have entered the second stage of divine transformation, with all attributes doubled. The average attributes are around 4,000, and the blood volume is as high as 150,000. It can be said to be a nightmare for professionals. At the same time, Qin Zi noticed that a small team was carrying a big meatball. The information about this big meatball is extremely shocking. Open black lens bracket plague meatball close black lens bracket, nightmare disease monster, level, LV.25. HP, 55,000. Attributes, Strength 532, Agility 671, Intelligence 594. Skill 1. Core of Disease. After a series of horrifying experiments, the Holy Royal family successfully produced the core of the ancient disease and sealed it in layers of flesh and blood, allowing it to consciously spread the ancient disease. After 7 days, the disease core will be perfectly integrated with flesh and blood. After being cut into slices and eaten, the Holy Royal Family will be one step closer to the path of divine transformation. Skill 2. Self-destruction. The core of the disease inside the plague meatball began to erupt, producing a very strong impact, smashing the body into pulp and collapsing on all surrounding objects, and spreading the disease to the maximum extent. All those who came into direct contact were 100% infected. 80% of those who inhale the gas are infected. Anyone who witnesses all this has a 50% chance of being infected. Introduction. Mixture of humans, cattle, sheep and dogs. How do they do it? Close black lens bracket. When Qin Zi saw the introduction of Big Meatball, he immediately stopped. Even if the disease can be controlled, he doesn't want to be reduced to a pulp. Outsiders, what do you do? The sentry of the Holy Royal Family surrounded Qin Zi's 5 people, and the captain of the sentry shouted sharply. It seems that too much time has passed. Qin Zi picked up the skeleton staff with a smile. You don't even remember me, who are you? The captain of the Holy Royal Sentry narrowed his eyes and looked at Qin Zi, and even stretched out his hand to scratch his head. The next moment, he suddenly seemed to remember something, and his body suddenly leaned back in fear. He took the reptile's reins with both hands and actually pulled it over. Wait, he is. The Dark Destroyer, my Dishan, run, no, hurry up and report this news to General Black Sun, the Dark Destroyer has appeared again. Damn it, why did you show up when I was on patrol? Before Qin Zi took action, the Holy Royal sentries surrounding him were already so frightened that they fell off their feet. He once destroyed an entire holy city by himself and summoned undead skeletons all over the sky, which became the most feared pain in the hearts of the Holy Royal Family. Advertisement to put it simply, they are afraid of being beaten. Qin Zi touched his nose in embarrassment. Dark Destroyer? Is this the nickname given to him by the Holy Royal Family? It's quite cool. The sentries of the Holy Royal Family were swept by like waves, and they all retreated 5 meters in fright. The other 4 teammates were all dumbfounded. Mushui, huh? Lu Yang. Ha ha ha, they are afraid. Catwoman. I'm not surprised at all, meow. Sun Yunlong. Hey, how does the monster know that I have become stronger? Naturally, Qin Zi would not let them escape. The skeleton staff was slightly raised, the kingdom of bones. The aura of the undead instantly spread throughout the space, and the sky became much darker. First, countless skeletal hands stretched out from the soil, accurately grabbed the limbs of the reptiles, and dragged them into the ground. -77,328, -77,623, -78,392. Congratulations, you killed a reptile and gained experience, 700. Congratulations, you killed a reptile and gained experience, 700. The sound of ghosts crying and wolves howling is like purgatory. The sentries of the Holy Royal Family fell down one by one in embarrassment, and the skeleton hands began to move their hands up and down. Their defense was high, and they held golden spears in their hands, which swept across the skeleton's hands in panic, making the sound of metal clashing and splashing countless sparks. But these skeleton hands are just an appetizer, and the big deal is yet to come. Under the horrified and desperate eyes of the Holy Royal Guards, skulls burning with fire appeared in the air, their spines connecting them in series. Cackling. Horrible laughter sounded from all directions. Chapter 88. If you were like this, I would be excited. On the rocky beach in the canyon, countless white bones appear staggered, and the wind blows. The Holy Royal Sentry was wailing and screaming in it, just like purgatory. On the raised boulder 2 kilometers away, the light and shadow were distorting crazily, with 5 figures looming among them. Their movements were so panicked that they were deformed. One of them could not help but curse in a low voice. Shu Laosan, you are an assassin who can't even understand the stealth skills. Dangling back and forth like this, your butt is exposed. Shu Laosan shouted aggrievedly. I'm scared, it's normal to be afraid of causing sustained skill loss. Bullshit, another female voice shouted angrily. They consume 100 mana, and you also consume 100 mana. What's the difference between you and others? You can't even understand the stealth skills. I've been unlucky for 8 lifetimes. It's useless to have a teammate like you, not at all. I can't even see any rewards, and I still have to accompany you to do these things. Assassin. You idiot, you were right. Hey, I didn't expect it. I chose an assassin just for the trash. If I can get up, I can make blood, but if I can't get up, I have a stealth skill. What can you do with a ranger archer? Shooting people is like scratching an itch. Scratching. No one has shaved like you. Do you provide bathing services to others? You? The female archer's face turned red instantly, and the little pearls fell. As soon as I wiped it with my hand, another layer of powder was stained on my sleeves. Okay, in order to kill Qin Zi this time, the company took out everything from the bottom of the box. And whoever successfully kills him will receive a bonus of 1 billion. The opportunity to become a billionaire is right in front of me, and you're actually arguing with me? The slender young woman interrupted the shouting of the team members. Her name is Sao Lily, LV.27. She has changed her profession to become a mysterious mage, so she has not touched the path of divine transformation. This time she came in purely for money and experience, equipment rewards. And she has an A-level talent, savage growth, and all the spells she releases have extremely exaggerated bonuses. At the same time, she is also a professional trained by Lee's company and one of the best mage in Linhai City. Cao Lily's prestige was still high, and the team immediately became quiet. The assassin's stealth skills have also become much more stable. Advertisement: I have notified other professionals in the company. They are rushing here, and they are also bringing a large force of the Holy Royal Family. Cao Lily looked at the rows of skulls emerging from the sky. There was no fear in her eyes, but desire. The excitement of playing against it. In her understanding, the battle between mages is to take apart each other's moves and then attack them in the gap between skills. She could see that the white bones and skeletons in the sky looked like summoned objects, but they were actually created by magic. As long as it was a magic spell, she would have the confidence to counterattack it with magic, thus suppressing Qinzi's magic. Why haven't you started summoning yet? Cao Lily couldn't wait any longer and wanted to have a battle with Qinzi. But the opponent's summons were very strong. She had seen videos in which they could deal tens of thousands of damage in one blow, and her fragile body only had 10,000 plus HP, so she couldn't withstand it at all. In response to Qinzi's undead summons, the company took out some equipment, props from the bottom of the box. Refresh Spellstone. You can erase the mark of the enemy's summons and turn it into your own summons. If the summons is too strong, the refreshed Spellstone will explode. Never Return Realm. Exile enemy summons to the border of nothingness. Broken Zone. Directly kills enemy summons and permanently plunders the opponent's attributes. If it exceeds the upper limit, it will backfire. With so many summons, almost everyone has one, just to deal with Qinzi. If the summoner of the undead has no summons, isn't he just useless? She was hiding here, just waiting for Qinzi to summon the undead, and then use the broken area, herself, with a percentage plunder attribute, and get dozens of attributes. That would be really cool. As a result, the opponent never summoned him, but instead used Necromancy. Calculating the time, other professionals should be arriving soon. Even if he summons later, the broken area can still be used. Qinzi, let me see your strength. Cao Lily couldn't wait any longer, so she took out her high-level staff and rushed towards the sky full of bones. Team, Captain. Everyone else was stunned. Arcane Magic Rebellion. Cao Lily, wearing a blue magic robe, rushed to the edge of the skeleton array, and then suddenly raised her staff high. The magic wave took her as the center point and spread in all directions. The flaming skull floating in the air and the interconnected vertebrae seemed to be placed upside down. First, the flames in the eye sockets went out, and then the skull shrank back, and the vertebrae trembled and disappeared. In the Kingdom of Bones, a gap appeared. Qinzi looked over in surprise, not expecting that someone could crack his bone kingdom. Until he saw a woman holding a staff high in the gap, with shining blue gems floating in the air above her head. Advertisement: the other party's professional information also appears. Arcane Mage. It seems interesting. The two looked at each other in the air, and Cao Lily suddenly smiled crookedly. Arcane Missile. She waved her magic wand forward, and 5 blue light clusters were like shooting stars, dragging their long tails and heading straight towards Qinzi. In that case, I will play with you. Qinzi stretched out his hand a little in the air, and several skeleton arms sprang out from the soil, forming a bone shield. When he saw that the arcane missile was about to hit the bone shield, he suddenly turned to the side and went around it. Countless skeleton hands clawed at the air, but they all escaped one by one. Autopilot. As soon as Qinzi complained, 5 arcane missiles hit the 5 people. Boom! White air masses emerged, causing no harm, but all 5 people turned into palm-sized frogs and snakes, fell to the ground, and then crawled on the ground at a very fast speed. In half a second, there were 2 more bangs, and Qinzi and Mushui returned to their original state. The two looked at each other, then looked at the frogs and snakes crawling on the ground. One frog actually had cat ears. When Cao Lily saw Qinzi recover, her pupils shrank suddenly. Then he shook the staff and laid out a secret trap. When the enemy summons the first creature, the secret will take effect and the ownership will be transferred to her. Is this the power of changing jobs? So many tricks? But yes, a mage relies on his diversity of skills. If there are only simple and straightforward attacks and defenses, then the mage will not have any advantage. Qinzi raised his head happily. This Cao Lily's fighting style seems to have opened a new door for him. Cao Lily is stacking arcane spells like crazy. The enemy releases the first spell, counter it. But when she saw Qinzi's eyes, she couldn't help but tremble. He's excited. Chapter 89 Disarming. Don't come here. I'm warning you, you won't get anything good if you come here again. Have you seen the blue crystals on my head? Each one represents an untriggered arcane spell. I can guarantee that if you accidentally trigger it, you will definitely regret it. Cao Lily's delicate body was trembling, but she was making strong threats in her mouth. At the same time, she waved wildly to her teammates behind her. Immediately afterwards, the 4 people hiding in hiding side one after another, emerged from hiding, and then came behind Cao Lily. Their captain, Cao Lily, is one of the top 3 mages in Linhai City. The efficiency of drawing maps may not be as good as other mages, but his ability in single combat is really strong, and his various arcane abilities are hard to guard against. The most important thing is that they just saw with their own eyes the Captain Cao Lily destroying the sky-filled skeleton array. This meant that the captain was still capable of fighting, so they stood behind her. The 5 people looked at Qinzi nervously. It was clear that he was just a level 22 undead summoner. But it felt like seeing the nightmare level final boss. Captain Cao Lily, level, LV.27, occupation, Arcane Mage. Member Yang Qing, level, LV.26, occupation, elf shooter. Member In Yi, level, LV.26, occupation, phantom thorn. Member Wang Dachang, level, LV.25, occupation, heavy warrior. Member Moog, level, LV.24, occupation, bard. I thought you were going to challenge me. Tisk, tisk, it's boring. Qin Zi sighed, and his interest suddenly dropped by half. In his opinion, these are just the stubbornness of the weak. Cao Lily. Singled out, who the hell can challenge the big boss? In that case, let's make a quick decision. Qin Zi looked at them indifferently, his wings composed of white bones slowly unfolding behind him. This is the winged skeleton of an unknown creature, with sharp moon bones spread out layer by layer, with a cold and strange beauty. The bone wings spread out behind them, and Qin Zi rose into the air, blocking the sunlight above their heads. Those indifferent eyes seemed to be looking at a dead person. None of my arcane spells were triggered. Cao Lily's face turned pale instantly. 10 souls turned into resentful souls, rushed out from Qin Zi's side, and entangled the 5 people below. Elemental shield. Cao Lily quickly raised her staff, surrounded by a gaseous shield. Advertisement. The resentful soul wrapped around him with a sinister smile, but did not directly collide with the magic defense. Instead, he playfully grabbed Cao Lily's staff. Cao Lily, huh? Before she could hold on tightly, the staff was swept up into the sky by resentful spirits. The staff flew into the sky, getting further and further away from her. The harsh laughter that filled the sky seemed to be mocking her. Ah, my staff. Cao Lily was stunned. Before the arcane trap was triggered, the staff was gone. She quickly took out another staff from the warehouse, but the attribute effect was much less than the previous one, and the bonus to arcane spells was also much lower. The same goes for others. The cloak of Phantom Thorn and Dark Knight was not taken away, but the cloak of illusion was ripped away directly. There was also the heavy shield of the heavily armored warrior, and the resentful spirit couldn't sweep it away, so he took off his helmet by force. The screams of elf shooter Yang Qing came from the side. Her sling-like leather armor was actually taken away. She covered the airport and screamed crazily. Haunted by resentful souls, activated successfully. Obtain. Arcane staff, diamond level, illusion cloak, diamond level, rock helmet, diamond level, song machine, diamond level, elf leather armor, diamond level. 1 piece of diamond level equipment is 50 million, and 5 pieces is 250 million. Small profit, of course. Qin Zi's main purpose of releasing the haunted spirit was not to steal things, but to restore some mana first. Open black lens bracket Death Raider. Trigger 10. Strength plus 237, agility plus 109, intelligence plus 174. Etc. Qin Zi was stunned. He had just killed so many holy royal sentries on the battlefield, but the soul reserve in Huang Quan's right hand was already full. So what are you waiting for? Let's start building it. Army of the Undead, come up to me. Qin Zi spread his bone wings in the air, and 3,000 undead rushed out densely. Cao Lily and the other 5 were very angry because their equipment was robbed. This was something they had worked hard to obtain, and it was unique to their own professions and was difficult to buy. You can hit them, but don't touch their equipment. Until the resentful souls appeared in the sky, their expressions instantly change. Run, run quickly. If you are surrounded, you are not allowed to strip all your equipment. This special code is more uncomfortable than killing them. As the saying goes, the 8 immortals cross the sea, each showing his magical powers. At this time, it depends on who among the 5 can run faster. As an arcane mage, Cao Lily ran desperately with her short legs, but to no avail. She quickly fell behind the 4 of them, and Phantom turned on the rapid skill and ran the fastest, disappearing in a flash. Advertisement, you. Wait. She was about to ask her teammates to help her, but before she could finish her words, she heard creepy laughter coming from behind her. Then she felt her ankle being grabbed by something. She immediately lost her center of gravity and fell hard on the ground. The strength of the grip on her ankle did not diminish, and she was dragged directly into the sky. Arcane missile. Fireball. Refresh the summoning stone. It's not working at all. Cao Lily was a little panicked. Countless resentful souls were rushing towards her, like vultures feasting on their prey in the air. I captured these souls now, so of course they have no effect. Qin Zi admired all this with great interest and answered her doubts by the way. See caught now? At this moment, Cao Lily's head was a little down. Immediately afterwards, she saw the corpses of the holy royal sentries all over the ground, and an ominous premonition suddenly appeared in her heart. The so-called caught now, wouldn't it be their souls? Arcane ritual. Cao Lily was frightened and quickly released her ultimate move. Her eyes were filled with cyan light, and rich magic waves began to surge throughout her body. The long black hair surges upward. She held the magic sphere with both hands and pressed it hard on the nearest resentful soul. Boom! The resentful souls were beaten away. Death Raider, activate. Then, as if Cao Lily had taken medicine, she threw the energy ball in her hand around wildly. Seeing that she could not clear away the resentful souls, she suddenly exploded, and the spell ripples instantly wiped out the resentful souls 10 meters around. Death Rattler, activate. Agility plus 5, health, mana recovery 1000 points. Death Rattler, activate. Intelligence plus 5, health, mana recovery 1000 points. Yes, you killed 1,000 of my resentful souls. 5,000 more. Qin Zi waved his hand slightly, and more resentful souls rushed out densely. Sao Lily floated in the air, and the green light in her eyes began to flash. She was breathing heavily, with a look of pride on her face. As a result, when she turned around, a dense crowd of resentful souls rushed in front of her face. Sao Lily. Stab. Stab. Remove armor. Chapter 90 An Unimagined Road. Sao Lily's eyes widened and she looked at the resentful soul in horror. On the twisted and painful face, there were illusory golden crystals carved between the eyebrows. This is the soul of the Holy Royal Family. At this moment, she finally confirmed what Qinzi meant by arresting him now. And my own soul, wouldn't that be? No, the trembling from the deepest part of the soul, the inspiration reaching to the sky. She finally understood the horror of the undead mage. Deep regret overflowed in my heart, and I even wanted to slap myself twice. You said you had nothing to do, why bother with him? Just run when you see the first one. Countless resentful souls clung to her body, and their terrifying sinister laughter almost drowned her. These resentful spirits did not bite her, nor did they launch any attacks. Instead, they stretched out their cold ghost hands and attacked her skin, not sparing every inch, making her feel that her privacy had been violated. But she didn't care so much. She crazily drank the blue medicine and poured it down her throat. Blue numbers are also popping up, plus 100 plus 100 plus 100 plus 100 plus 100. To unleash the last trick, Arcane Impact, a full 3000 mana was needed, and hers had already reached the bottom. Drink the first bottle of blue medicine to restore 1000 blue pills. She quickly took out the second bottle of blue medicine. As soon as she unscrewed the bottle cap, her right ankle was grabbed and hung upside down in the air without any defense. The blue bottle in her hand also fell in panic and fell to the ground. It shattered and splashed into large crystal blue water splashes. Countless resentful souls rotated crazily against her, forming a small black tornado. Sao Lily was completely submerged in it and couldn't see anything, except that her equipment was constantly being sent out. First came the white over-the-knee boots, which were held up surrounded by 5 resentful spirits. Elemental magic boots, diamond level, nice equipment, but why, does it smell sour? How long did you wear this? Qinzi pinched the corner of the boot with some disgust and threw it into the warehouse. Anyway, small treasury plus 50 million. Immediately, various equipments were sent out one after another, arcane pants, mage leather armor, magic explosive cloak. I'm AC Cup, did you get this for me? The corner of Qinzi's mouth twitched slightly, and then he threw it back casually. If you can't sell it for money, it's of no use. After Sao Lily was done with it, the other 4 team members naturally couldn't let it go. No matter how fast they ran, they would definitely not be able to outrun the resentful spirits flying in the air. 5,000 per person, 20,000 in total, give them enough respect. Soon, Moog, the slowest running bard, screamed and was grabbed by a resentful spirit by the ankle, and then hung upside down into the air. Countless resentful spirits rushed up and began to frantically remove their armor, one by one. He brought the warm diamond-grade equipment to Qinzi. Advertisement, D, is it because of the wet nurse? The other 2 people also swept up into the sky one after another and began to unload their equipment frantically. Soon, Qinzi received a lot of diamond-level equipment. Although it was secondhand, it was also very valuable. Is this the kind of thing that haunted souls do? I thought it was sustained damage. Qinzi looked at the equipment that had been removed from the warehouse and felt extremely emotional. Etc. Qinzi's expression suddenly became strange. Could these resentful spirits be influenced by me? He was going to attack and kill viciously, but ended up snatching people's equipment and running away. If you think about it this way, if he himself becomes a resentful spirit, he will definitely not bite or anything, but first steal the equipment. Now a new question arises. How much influence does an individual have on skills? There are hundreds of millions of mages in the world. Does everyone release the same fireball spell? No, it's definitely different. Qinzi's eyes suddenly widened. He felt as if he had touched something, but it was vague. It seems like it hasn't been touched yet. This feeling is like 100 ants crawling around my heart, itching very much. At this time, the first black tornado composed of resentful souls suddenly dispersed. The naked Sao Lily fell heavily to the ground. The resentful soul returned to Huang Quan's right hand and became a soul reserve. Not killed. Qinzi stretched out his skull staff, and several ring-shaped ribs immediately appeared from the ground. And it penetrated Sao Lily's body, splattering countless blood. No matter what, you have to gain experience. Congratulations, you killed the arcane mage Sao Lily, dropped experience. 30,000, drop props. Refresh summoning stone. There are still a lot of experience points given by professionals. Well, refresh the summoning stone. Qinzi was stunned when he saw this. After checking the introduction of the props, he immediately smiled. No wonder Sao Lily has been on defense, it turns out she is waiting here. This thing is better than nothing to me, just sell it after you take it out. After all, after he kills the enemy, he can use the soul and bones, which are even stronger than his original summons. Yellow Quan's right hand, as usual, he extracted Sao Lily's soul and threw it into the soul reserve. Advertisement but. When he saw Sao Lily's soul sitting up from the broken body, his confused and numb expression shocked his heart. The feeling I had just now became stronger in an instant. 100 people, 100 hamlets. There are no 2 identical leaves in the world. Even professionals with the same skills and the same level will be released differently. Only when you have your own unique style can you be called a genius. Perhaps, I can embark on a path that is unique to me. Qinzi realized something. Even if the world of the dead and the kingdom of bones exist, they will not exist in the dimension of the human world. No one can see their whole picture, even the necromancers can only get a glimpse of them. If not, then I will create a kingdom of bones, be the only one in this world. This is a road that has not been traveled before, or in other words, all necromancers are taking this road. But they died too quickly. A 30-year-old necromancer can already be called an elderly mage, and a 40-year-old necromancer can almost be called a birthday boy. They have just explored the corner of the glacier in the world of the undead, and they are already there. It's up to me to see the real world. Shin Zi stretched out his skull staff and pointed it at Cao Lily's soul. Countless white bones emerged from all directions and filled her soul. There were hundreds of ribs alone, densely arranged from top to bottom. The arcane crystals were rearranged. Condensed on her skull, the arcane staff was thrown to her again. I am. Cao Lily opened her skull mouth wide, and her eye sockets with green light appeared in shock. Death, or loyalty to me? Shin Zi looked at her condescendingly, his eyes seemed to have endless majesty. The skeleton Cao Lily transformed into shivered, thinking she saw a god. She fell to her knees suddenly, her teeth chattering. I am willing to be loyal, Shin Zi nodded slightly. He didn't expect Cao Lily to bring him much combat power after transforming into a skeleton. But this is the first human creature he transformed in the Kingdom of Bones. This will be the anchor for his creation. The Kingdom of Bones was just a skill. If someone uses the forgotten skill item on him, he will lose the right to use the Kingdom of Bones. But, the Kingdom of Bones he created will belong to him alone. Chapter 91 Enlightenment, go a little deeper again. The real world of the undead is too mysterious for humans. That is the kingdom of the dead, a higher dimension than the human world. People will feel frightened just thinking about it in their minds. The only goal of all necromancers is to get closer to the world of the undead, see more things in this mysterious dimension, and explore the truest mysteries hovering above the heads of the world. At the same time, there is a very clear boundary. As long as you step over it, your old body can regain the vitality of a young man, and your panic and fear can regain peace and confidence. At this time, you can already touch the real world of the undead. That place that scares the world. That is no longer skill strength, but dimension level crushing. This is both temptation and poison for a superfamily. As long as they cultivate family children who have crossed this limit, then this superfamily can easily crush other forces, even the entire Blue Star, Eagle Sauce Federation, Dai Yuguo, Shaori the country and so on are all little Kurami. If they don't accept it, they will be thrown in by a big D*K. Every one of them made no sound. Shin Zi was actually very curious about the road to the world of the undead that he was about to embark on. He searched a lot of relevant information at home and found that 1% of the undead mages were already 40 years old, most of them were trained by super aristocratic families, and the remaining 99% of people are already dead at the age of 20, squeezed dry, and die miserably. At that time, he realized that something was wrong. Everyone who chose the undead mage would not end well. Compared to a 100-year-old warrior who is still alive and kicking, it's really a world away. There is also a natural mage who specializes in studying the power of life, and he has been thrown to an unknown place. But, after careful searching, he finally found relevant content on Tieba. Among the necromancers who have crossed the line, one has really succeeded, named Yin Zuju, LV.60. There was a huge uproar and a big discussion started in the Dragon Kingdom. Some people were afraid of causing a natural disaster of the undead and leading to the destruction of the country. Some were so excited that they annihilated the Yingzhong Alliance, Shaori Kingdom, etc. in a crazy manner. For necromancers of this level, it was just a matter of waving their hands. The undead in the sky would reduce them to a dead zone. And he was originally a member of the super aristocratic family, the Wang family. The Wang family was so happy at the time that they issued an announcement asking the other 4 super aristocratic families and the government to surrender and give in. Then Yin Zuju disappeared, and no one knew where he was going. It is precisely because of this incident that the Wang family, a superfamily, plummeted and became a laughing stock. At the same time, its strength also fell from the first to the bottom. Until now, the whereabouts of Yin Zuju remain a mystery. Some people said that he entered the deepest part of the Black Abyss dungeon, while others said that such an existence was not allowed in the human world, so they took him away. Everyone has their own opinions and reasons. Some very high-ranking people must know the truth. Master, I am willing to surrender, I don't want to die. Cao Lily was kneeling on the ground. Her body was very long and consisted of dense rings of white ribs. Very well, you can stay in my kingdom of bones. I hope I can use this as a foundation to build my own path. The kingdom of bones is now an introduction to skills. If you use the consciousness of people like Cao Lily, you may be able to construct a fixed and owned domain. Advertisement at the same time, several black storms around them also dispersed one after another. The naked man fell to the ground. Shin Zi stretched out his hand and held it in the void. Countless white ribs sprang out one after another, enveloped them, and then shrank suddenly. Blood and minced meat splashed everywhere like exploding pulp. Human beings are really vulnerable without armor. Congratulations, you killed the elf shooter Yangqing, experience dropped, 27,000, prop dropped, agility stone. Congratulations, you killed Phantom Thorn Dark Knight, experience dropped, 28,000, item dropped, hidden scroll. Congratulations, you killed the heavily armored warrior Wang Dachang, experience dropped, 26,500, prop dropped, reincarnation desperate situation. Congratulations, you killed the Bard Moog, experience dropped, 25,000, props dropped, broken area. You have been upgraded to LV.23, all attributes plus 2, free attributes plus 6, blood volume plus 1000, mana volume plus 500. The experience dropped by professionals is still very objective. Killing a small team will give you 100,000 plus experience points. Please come to more professionals like this, thank you. You can change jobs at level 25 and accept inheritance. This time it is naturally the inheritance of the Bobo people's magic body to solve the problem of the upper limit of mana. It's best to reach a point where you can never use it up. A job transfer at level 25 and a job transfer at level 40 can be regarded as raising one's own dimension, getting closer to the world of the undead, and gaining more secrets. The so-called limit of the Necromancer is the second transfer at level 40. If you can cross it, it will be a new world. If you don't cross it, you can only watch yourself get sick and die. Certainly. Even if Shin Zi has not crossed the boundary, the unlimited upgrade of his skills can help him avoid disease infection and undead backlash. To put it bluntly, skills are in-depth knowledge about career exploration. If any skill is improved to the extreme, you can always get a glimpse of professional knowledge. At this moment, a panicked cry suddenly came from not far away. Dark Destroyer, he killed all the sentries. Even the outsiders from the same place were not spared. God, he is a devil. What kind of purgatory is this? Bones and flesh mixed together. I'm going to have nightmares for a week. Retreat quickly, The Dark Destroyer is looking towards us. With the bone wings stretched out behind his back, Shin Zi looked from a distance towards the rushing army of the Holy Royal Family. Advertisement with just one look, the other party threw away his armor and ran away. Even the less intelligent reptiles were scared to death. Some people were even trampled to death. Shin Zi. Is this a nightmare level mainline copy? Is it okay to run away when you see me? Speechless. However, the whole mountain is so big, where can they go? Jia. Shin Zi slowly fell from the sky. Mu Shui subconsciously took a step back and swallowed nervously. To be honest, the moment the bone wings unfolded behind Shin Zi, her instinct was frantically urging her to escape. For a moment, she felt that Shin Zi was no longer a human being, but the god of death who had come to the world to harvest life. Are you afraid of me too? Shin Zi was surprised. My reason tells me that you are safe, but I am physically scared, Mu Shui said with a wry smile. Just tell me, I almost peed just now, Shin Zi. Is this still the cold and taciturn Mu Shui? It seems like some kind of seal has been broken. What made him even more speechless was that Lu Yang, Catwoman and Sun Yunlong were still in the state of little frogs and little snakes, jumping around on the ground, their eyes showing clear stupidity. Sao Lily, help them untie them. Okay. Sao Lily, who had turned into a strange skeleton, began to wave the staff in her hand. Bang bang bang. 3 streaks of white energy emerged, and the 3 of them returned to their original state. Lu Yang sat on the ground confused. What just happened? The other 2 people also looked at each other. Mu Shui. It's better not to know. The ignorant are fearless. Actually, she lied about something. That is, she really peed. Chapter 92 Ancient Disease. Who is the oldest one? The souls of the dead dispersed and the bones were recovered. The long-lost sunshine shines on the rocky beach, but it cannot drive away the gloomy atmosphere. Lu Yang. Ah, I've been upgraded. Finally, it seemed that a team of professionals rushed over and gave it to me. I don't remember anything. I remember the girls there were pretty good looking, but what about the people? Here, where is it? Shin Zi pointed to a pool of flesh and blood on the ground, which had no bones and looked like a peeled skin. No matter how good looking a girl is, she will eventually leave in an ugly manner. Life is like this. Everyone will die and leave ugly. Lu Yang raised his head with emotion, as if he had a new understanding of life. Unfortunately, it is of no use. Sun Yunlong scratched his head and stood up. My souvenirs are still outside. I don't know if I can find them when I go out. Catwoman. Meow. Sleep so comfortably. Mu Shui looked at the 2 people, and several black lines appeared in the back of her head. At this moment, she was a little envious of the weak team members. She fainted immediately after a disagreement, and when she woke up, everything was solved. Compared to the nightmare-level monster, Shin Zi's posture of spreading his bone wings is even more terrifying. And most importantly, won't pee. At this time, Shin Zi came over with a map of the Holy Royal Clan's defensive line, then pointed at it and said, there is an important road ahead, which is easy to defend and difficult to attack. The large Holy Royal Clan troops that just rushed out seem to have escaped here. See if there is any other way. When Mu Shui saw him coming over, her breath caught in her breath, and her delicate body trembled uncontrollably. The bad memory struck her again. What's wrong with you? Shin Zi looked at her doubtfully. Nothing. Mu Shui pretended to be calm and kept her original appearance as much as possible. Profound. Shin Zi nodded, not feeling strange at all. After all, Mu Shui was originally a cool type of beauty. Still has hidden strength. Lu Yang. Let me know, I'm good at reading maps. Hey, there are 2 paths on the side, which seem to go directly to the back of the castle. They seem to be used for delivering goods to the castle. I'm not sure. If you take the trail, you should be able to complete the camp mission. After all, it only talks about breaking through the defense line, but it's not necessary. Kill more monsters and gain experience. What do you think? Lu Yang. It all depends on my adoptive father. Catwoman. Meow, Sun Yunlong. Me too, Mushui. Okay. After passing the rocky beach, the hillside ahead was filled with thin black mist. Gives people a bad feeling. Advertisement. He looked like he was going to be sick. Disease. Lu Yang and others immediately became nervous and held the only antidote in their hands. Before they even got close, they felt their heads begin to hurt and their throats became dry and itchy. And a negative state emerged. Ancient disease. The pathogen enters the body through the respiratory tract, spreads throughout the body in 10 minutes, dissolves in the blood, and finally gathers at a specific location between the eyebrows, condensing the host's nutrition and energy here. A parasitic state appears after 1 day, and the energy between the queen's brows will condense into a holy insect, swallow all the cerebrospinal fluid, and successfully crawl out of the host's skull. Open black lens bracket host, death close black lens bracket, transmission range. 1 meter around the pathogen, death after exceeding. As soon as the negative status of the disease appeared, the expressions of Lu Yang and others changed instantly. This is using your own body to feed insects. In other words, the so-called path of divine transformation is to raise worms in the eyebrows? In the end, was it a human or an insect that successfully transformed? No, how could a professional choose this kind of inheritance? For a time, everyone's hearts were filled with questions. Anyway, the path to divine transformation is weird. Lu Yang. I read that the antidote can help us eliminate the disease in an all-round way, so in order to maximize the elimination of the disease, it is better to use it after 4 or 5 days. Catwoman. My head hurts. It seems like something is crawling in it. Others were also swaying, looking a little unable to bear it. Mushui is relatively strong and emits white light around her skin, which can temporarily offset the attack of diseases. Just when everyone was in agony, she saw another scene that she would never forget. Black Death. Qin Zi raised the skull staff and waved it in the air. More concentrated and domineering disease particles are released. The two sides collided fiercely, intertwined with each other, and fought and disappeared in silence. From a micro perspective, the fight was very intense. Immediately afterwards, Mushui covered her mouth in disbelief, and her legs became weak and trembling. The Black Death released by Qin Zi actually spread out over the ancient diseases. She looked at Qin Zi in disbelief, her fear instinct becoming stronger. Qin Zi can actually control diseases, LV.23, and has not yet changed profession. Is this still a human being? Her legs were shaking crazily and she couldn't stop at all. Soon, Lu Yang and the other 3 recovered from their negative state, looking shocked. They turned their attention to Qin Zi, and the answer was already ready to come out. Advertisement. I just said I have a solution. Lu Yang. But, foster father, why did I suddenly gain a negative buff called the Black Death? Catwoman. Me too. Meow meow. Sun Yunlong. Me too. Qin Zi. You won't die, don't worry, this thing is very toxic. Lu Yang. Father, if you say that, I'll be relieved. Mushui looked at the extra, Black Death, in her status bar and was speechless. However, her steps staggered a bit and she soon fell behind the team. Lu Yang. Mushui, why are you walking so slowly? It stands to reason that you are stronger than us and your resistance should be higher. I'm fine. Mushui said softly. Hey, no, why are your pants wet? There was no puddle just now. After hearing this, Mushui shouted reflexively. No way, I just changed my pants. As soon as these words came out, everyone looked at her. Qin Zi. Lu Yang. Catwoman. 3 minutes later, the Holy Royal family's defensive choke point appeared. There is a steep slope in the middle and cliffs on both sides. They also made the cliffs steeper. Before they even got close, they heard someone shouting from ahead. Quick, 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 Qin Zi is coming soon. Shield battle, move forward, activate all the rock-solid skills, don't be afraid of spending mana, the company will compensate you for any losses, even if you die, the company will pay 10 million as given to your family, what else do you have to fear? One general's success will make 1,000 bones wither. The rangers and mages behind, hurry up and fill in. The skills will start chanting now. Even if Qin Zi can't be killed in seconds, it can still slow down his pace and leave enough time for the priest brothers behind to gain blood. Qin Zi is the summoner of the undead. Take out all the props for summoning objects. Don't let him summon them. This is his weakness. If he can't summon them, he will die. But if he summons them, we will die. Do you understand? Yes. Qin Zi walked forward speechlessly, watching thousands of professionals begin to hurriedly arrange their formations at the intersection. Is this the time to prepare for a boss fight? Can you count me in? Chapter 93 Boss Battle. He is really the summoner of the undead? Why is the skin better than mine? The white skin is rosy, and the eyes are so bright. I remember that the undead summoners in the video all look sick and about to die. I don't know, I'm ALV.24 warrior, but why can't I feel that I can't match his muscle mass? I don't know anything else. Look at the Holy Royal Guards next to you. Their legs are shaking. How scared are they? Damn it, it's true, the reptiles over there are so scared that they pee. The professional mercenaries hired by Lee's company at a high price were all talking in low voices. They have rich experience in killing boss, especially the mainline dungeon boss. Even got some first kills. When it comes to killing boss, they are professionals. But Lee's company hired them at a high price, and even though they had nightmare-level main story dungeons, they were actually asked to choose the suspected villain's camp this time. The super boss named General Black Sun was sitting in the back and did not kill them. Instead, they were asked to standing in front to kill an undead summoner? And with the standard of killing the boss, they were immediately unable to hold their nerves. Just a professional, what's the point? One mouthful and one spittle will drown you, okay. However, they also work with money. As long as they give enough money to kill the boss, even if they are allowed to collectively slaughter a pig, they can make the pig die as impressive as the boss. The main thing is to be professional and satisfy customers. At the same time, Li Yuhao, LV.15, the young master of the Li family, was furious at the back of the team. He had just come out of prison and immediately wanted to kill Qin Zi. When he returned home, he didn't even notice the news of his mother's death. He gathered a group of brothers and rushed to the main dungeon. Especially when he knew that the company was encircling Qin Zi, he immediately took the position of commander-in-chief without hesitation. Hurry up, there are still gaps in the defense line here, they must be blocked. You axe warriors, hurry up and get on top of me. And you archers, are you just standing there eating shit? Hurry up and lift the longbow for me, charge up all the arrows and draw them, do you understand? My father has entered the castle. Even if he can't kill Qin Zi, he must block Qin Zi's steps and help my father complete his transformation to delay time. You idiots, stop chatting and pay attention to me, otherwise we will lose everything. No money will be paid to you. Li Yuhao sat on the high wooden platform at the back and gave orders vigorously. This made the professional mercenaries very unhappy. They were all cursing in their hearts, but their bodies moved sincerely. After all, they hadn't gotten the money yet. At this time, the unshaven man leaning against the wooden platform exhaled a puff of smoke and chuckled. Haha, what kind of monster can come out of this small Linhai city? We, the hungry wolf mercenaries, have killed the Black Emperor, and the brother of one of the guards beside him. No matter how difficult that thing is to kill, we should kill him anyway. Advertisement: he is the leader of the mercenary group, codenamed Wolf King, LV.29, and is estimated to be about 50 years old. His words had a decisive influence within the mercenary group, and these two sentences spoke to the hearts of the mercenaries. Especially letting the little brat of LV.15 ride on their head made them extremely unhappy. It's okay to let them kill pigs, but it's not right to let pigs ride on their heads. Shut up! Li Yuhao scolded him sternly, not giving the leader of the Wolf King any face at all. The Wolf King's face twitched slightly, then he lowered his head and took a deep breath from the cigarette butt, his expression hidden in the smoke. Qin Zi is more powerful than you imagine. He is the undead summoner who has cleared the nightmare dungeon. The holy royal family next to me is so scared that their legs are shaking, can't you see that? As soon as Li Yuhao said these two sentences, they immediately resonated with the professionals of Li Company. They were the ones who were so scared that they ran away just now. They even had a strong feeling that Qin Zi was just wearing human skin and peeling off the skin, but they didn't know what was inside. Peefed. A big knife suddenly pierced Li Yuhao's abdomen and nailed him to a stake in the back. -100, teammate protection, bleeding trigger. The high-spirited Li Yuhao immediately spit out a mouthful of blood, and his face was distorted by the pain. The Wolf King approached expressionlessly. You are too noisy. Don't worry, I will use a blood bottle to hang you alive. Li Yuhao's eyes widened, his lips trembled and he was speechless. A sentence can be vaguely discerned. You will regret this. Regret? What a joke. I, the Wolf King, never do anything I regret. At this time, a scout suddenly ran over and said, Captain, the undead mage named Qin Zi is here. Well, let's go ahead and kill people directly. End it early and get the money early, and I will never cooperate with Li's company again next time. Bah, bad luck. What the hell? Liu Yang. Ah, guess what I saw? Behind me is Li Yuhao, the young master of the Li family, commanding a group of high-level professionals at level 15. It really made me laugh to death. Advertisement: Catwoman. Yeah, look, that man couldn't help it anymore and stabbed Li Yuhao directly. Qin Zi was also surprised by this. Young Master Li was released now? According to Tang Zhu, he should not be imprisoned for a year and a half? Could it be that the people from Li's headquarters have arrived and pacified Linhai City in a quick and easy way? Tang Zhu couldn't bear the pressure, so he let Li Yuhao go. The more he thought about it, the more likely it was that the Li family headquarters did not want to give up the resource point of Linhai City, so it took over forcefully. No matter what, let's get rid of the person in front of us first. By the way, try the results of your new understanding. Solid as a rock, heart to heart connected, hardened to resist. The shield warriors in the front row were all holding two meter-high rectangular shields that looked like security doors, and they were holding them with their shoulders. Earthy brown light overflowed from the shield and gradually connected with the surrounding shields. The damage that will be received is evenly distributed to each shield battle. The professional mercenary group used this trick to defeat many bosses. Tried and tested, very easy to use, they're quite confident about this too. At the same time, arrows and magic energy balls appeared in the sky behind the shield battle. They drew an arc in the air, and all of them hit Qin Zi. Even if the damage caused by one arrow is not high, hundreds or thousands of them stacked up will be very terrifying. It can even produce a terrifying output of 10,000 blood per second. It's over. The Wolf King looked at Qin Zi under the arrow and said calmly. The health of professionals is very low, no one can resist this kind of attack. At this time, Qin Zi raised the skull staff in his hand. The Kingdom of Bones, the bone building created by him slowly rose. It was a skeleton of Sao Lily surrounded by dense ribs, holding an arcane staff in his hand. But underneath her, layers of skulls were surrounding her, pushing her high into the sky. Amid countless stunned gazes, Qin Zi smiled slightly and said, I named it. Arcane Skeleton Mage Tower. Chapter 94 Transforming the Black Death? Countless skulls quickly emerged from the ground, pushing the skeleton Sao Lily upwards. This is Qin Zi's creative creation of the Kingdom of Bones with Sao Lily as the anchor. With the soul of the professional as the anchor and the bones as the supplement, connect to reality. He will create his own Kingdom of Bones, and this is the first step. Facing the fierce arrows and magic energy bombs coming from the sky, Sao Lily's skeleton raised the arcane staff, arcane magic counter. The densely arranged skulls on the base of the tower all have their majestic teeth open, and their eye sockets are burning with a cold green fire. A strong undead aura rippled out, matching the spell released by Sao Lily. Form an enhanced version of the undead's magic counterattack. Boo-hoo-hoo. The first arrow shot down entered the realm of undead enhanced magic countermeasures, as if entering a quagmire. The sprint speed was greatly reduced, and when it almost stagnated, the arrow ignited with a faint green fire. The skulls all over the base of the tower flew up one after another, like swarms of insects dancing in the sky. They rattled their teeth, and then bit the stagnant arrows into their mouths. Green flames emerged from their eye sockets, noseholes, teeth, and cochlea, which looked very strong. Then they replaced the flying arrows and flew along the go back the way you came. Clash your teeth up and down and bite the archer who shot the arrow. At this moment, all the professional mercenaries widened their eyes in shock. Is this the summoner of the dead? Why is it different from what they have seen? As for the skeleton monster we talked about, what are these skulls flying all over the sky? It's a pity that they have no chance to ask questions. Skulls burning with green ghost fire rushed into the professional mercenary territory, and then found their own archers, chasing their butts and biting them, rattling. The sound of teeth clashing. It sounded crazy and extremely terrifying. And once you bite, you won't let go until half of your butt has bitten off. Minus 1783, soul burning, 300 minus 1803, soul burning, minus 300. To be honest, the damage is not very high. After all, this is not Qin Zi's serious skill, he is just experimenting with his new insights. Discover the beauty of the undead. However, the blood volume of archers is generally between 7,000 and 9,000, and one hit will kill them. The most important thing is, it hurts. The screams immediately made the mages holding staffs behind turn pale. They seem to have foreseen their own destiny. Unfortunately, there is no reason to take back the magic bullet that is thrown out. Magic bullets that fly slowly fall into the magic counter zone. The base of the skeleton tower became thinner, and a group of skulls were dispatched again, biting the magic bullets that were stagnant in midair and turned into dark green into their teeth. The undead energy transformed by the magic counterattack immediately made them burn, and then they all started to burn. Rush towards the magicians. Mages don't have the flexibility of ranger archers. They screamed in fear, and then released magic shield plus magic teleportation, 2-second chant. They thought that this would be stable, but they didn't expect that the skull actually chewed a hole in the magic shield, got in forcefully, and bit their thighs tightly without letting go, with its sharp teeth almost drilling into the bones. A scream more pitiful than the archer's sounded. All I can say is that he is worthy of being a magician who needs to sing, and his voice is really loud. The screams from behind became stronger and stronger, and the big brother in the front row who was holding a 2-meter shield suddenly couldn't hold back. No, we are still fighting in front, what are they shouting about? I don't know, our side can still withstand it, but the ranger mage and the others are about to lose it. What are you yelling about? People who don't know think that our mercenary group has never seen the world. Advertisement. Quote. The shield warriors in the front row turned around cursing, and then froze when they saw the skulls flying in the sky. F***K. What the hell? The group leader, Wolf King, took a deep breath from the cigarette butt and slowly exhaled it. Looking at the battlefield ahead amid the smoke, his unshaven face showed solemnity. This Qin Zi is different from the regular undead summoner. Undead summoners usually summon skeleton monsters, and then assign professions to form a skeleton regiment that is both far and near, but this Qin Zi summons a skeleton that can release arcane magic and a flying skull. It seems that he has carved out his own career path. Looking at all the geniuses of the past generations, they all do not follow the crowd, and Qin Zi has also embarked on such a path. This son must not be kept. The Wolf King put out the cigarette on his fingertips, and then raised his hand to make a move. Destroying gun. The black pentagram slowly unfolded, and a black spear fell. Then there was a neighing sound in the darkness, and the black horse with the blue light in its eyes rushed out. The Wolf King turned over and sat on the horse, his cold aura instantly bursting out. His profession is the Dark Knight, he. Li Yuhao, whose mouth was full of blood, suddenly laughed out loud. What do you mean? The Wolf King, wearing a black helmet, turned to look at Li Yuhao. Now, I know how to be afraid. It's too late. Li Yuhao spat out blood and sneered. Afraid of me? Joke. The Wolf King sneered, and then waved back. A mobile team composed of assassins, knights and other professions rushed out immediately. I am the Dark Knight, I don't know what fear is. After saying this, the Wolf King and his men rushed out and stabbed an archer's spear at the skeleton behind his butt. Boom. Minus 2379. The powerful force directly pierced the skull. The Wolf King didn't have any joy. If he couldn't even handle the skull, there would be no need to mess around. Get rid of the skull first and rescue the Ranger Mage. Front row shield fight, continue to hold on, yes. Clear. He gave an instruction and ordered people to continue cleaning the skulls. I have to say that Qin Zi really surprised him. Summoning these skulls with magic counter properties hamstrung his archers and mages. But that's about it. What kind of waves can LV.23 level professional make? I'm afraid he must also be having a headache from the shield battle in the front row. It's okay to use tricks, but when it comes to hard power, the gap becomes apparent. But, the next moment, the sudden appearance of an extremely oppressive presence made him want to kneel down and worship. Advertisement, what? The Wolf King was stunned for a moment. The dark horse he stepped off screamed, threw him off, and then ran forward. Unfortunately, your dark horse chose to betray. This was the first time in his life that he heard this reminder. The Wolf King lay on the ground, raised his head tremblingly, and his expression instantly became astonished. A few words came out with trembling lips. Darkness, Queen? Everything suddenly made sense. Wait, how can this LV.23 undead summoner summon a being of this level? The Dark War Horse ran towards the Dark Queen. When it entered Qin Zi's Kingdom of Bones, the flesh and blood on its body was automatically shaved off, leaving only the black skeleton of the horse. When it saw its own appearance, it spun around in astonishment. It seems that my exploration and creation of the Kingdom of Bones has initially yielded results. It even forms a halo-like effect. Entering my Kingdom of Bones will automatically fade away the flesh and blood. Continue to cultivate in this way, and then cooperate with skill upgrade capabilities. I can't even imagine what the future will be like. Qin Zi was extremely excited. This was his first attempt to create his own undead system. Judging from the effect, it is undoubtedly a success. Next, there is no need to hold back, Dark Queen. As you command, my lord. The Queen of Darkness saluted, and then opened the Queen's long bow in her hand. The dark arrows charged up crazily at the fingertips and then shot out suddenly. Boom. The shield defense that was once thought to be indestructible was shattered in an instant. He was unable to even scream in countless shield battles and died on the spot. Minus 183,493, infected with darkness, transformed into a skeleton. Minus 185,394, infected with darkness, transformed into a skeleton. Minus 189,249, infected with darkness, transformed into a skeleton. The pitch-black skeleton monster poked out from the corpse and crawled out. Qin Zi approached with the Queen of Darkness leisurely. Black smoke emitted from his body, causing symptoms such as bleeding from the 5 orifices, suffocation, and depression wherever it passed. Black Death. Whenever you get infected, you will fall into endless pain and feel your body collapse bit by bit. Well, it would be interesting if I could make Black Death, like Kingdom of Bones, not just limited to skills, but create and fuse it into something of its own. Qin Zi looked at the spread of the Black Death, put his hand on his chin, and fell into deep thought. 180,000 damage. The Wolf King fell into despair when he saw the damage. The highest blood volume in shield battle is about 40,000, which is 4.5 times higher. How to play? None of the dungeon bosses are this perverted. So far, he can still accept it. After all, they have summoned the Queen of Darkness, and this level of attack is considered normal. Until the spread of the Black Death, and that thoughtful look. Finally he fell into the abyss of fear. This guy is not a human being. Chapter 95 Death Cantabile. On this day, the Dark Knight felt what fear was. Black smoke filled the air, and it would scratch your throat if you inhaled it. Within a few seconds, blood will gush out of your mouth and nose. Extremely effective. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. The amount of blood is like taking laxatives, and it keeps leaking. What's even more terrifying is that the blood replenishing red medicine bottle and recovery skills are all ineffective. The antidote has some effect, but it cannot last for a few seconds. The blood volume begins to plummet again, and it is accompanied by extremely strong pain, as if all the cells in the body are fighting against the virus. Rout. My whole body hurts and I can't even straighten my waist. ... Congratulations, you killed a mercenary professional, shield fighter, experience drop, 30,000, equipment drop, earth shield platinum level. Congratulations, you killed a mercenary professional ranger, experience drop, 29,000, equipment drop, agility boots platinum level. Congratulations, you killed a mercenary professional healing elf, experience dropped, 27,000, equipment dropped, warm short armor platinum level. Killing prompts sounded one after another, and the experience dropped by these professionals was so delicious. It is almost 10 times the size of the Holy Royal Family's guard army. The experience progress bar is also jumping crazily. Unfortunately, it is too difficult to level up at the moment. The progress bar only jumps to 49%, and there is still half of it. No matter how difficult it is to level up, you should be able to level up to level 25 by killing General Black Sun. At that time, you can accept the Bobo people's magical body career inheritance and enjoy the days of massive blue bars. After that, just use skill bombing. There is no need to consider the mana consumption issue. The substantial increase in mana is a qualitative change for Qin Zi. He can also gain some insights into the abilities of the undead and try them without restraint, and even build a more complete and grander bone kingdom. I summon a skeleton kingdom at random. How'd I lose? It is generally accepted that the LV.25 level career change is a deeper exploration of the original career. Every professional knows this, but there are too few professionals who can actually do this. Most professionals just mechanically believe that after changing jobs, they can learn more advanced skills, obtain more basic attribute points, or unlock unique elemental magic abilities, without thinking about where these powers come from. This is the fate of every professional, trace it back to its source. The killing is still too slow, spreading the epidemic among the Black Crows. Advertisement. The clear and sweet whispering sound reached the ears of the surrounding professionals, which was undoubtedly the roar of the devil. Also, is it too slow to kill? Listen to this, is this human talk? It's so murderous, quack, quack, quack. The ominous Black Crows rushed out from Shin-Zi like a swarm of insects. They circled and then rushed towards the mercenary professionals who were far away around them like missiles. Call out. There was a rapid vibration in the air. Don't come here, I'll kill you with my axe. The axe-blade warrior holding a giant axe saw a Black Crow charging toward him, and immediately raised the axe, shouting in panic. Jump slash. The mercenary and axe-blade warrior's fighting instinct is pretty good. He lifts up his axe and strikes forward. Peeved. The feeling of hitting him immediately made him ecstatic. I survived. The axe-blade warrior was ecstatic, and a sense of accomplishment arose in his heart. There was a time when he was afraid of a mere bird, which he could kill with an axe. But the fear Qin-Zi brought to him was too strong, and he subconsciously thought that every summoned object by Qin-Zi was abnormally strong. He was so excited that he even wanted to tell other mercenaries. Gods can get hurt, and gods can die. The next moment, he saw that the Black Crow that his axe blade had driven into was still moving. What? He was excited and looked down. The Black Crow on the axe blade opened his dark eyes, and then tilted his head. Boom! The Black Crow exploded directly, and the foul-smelling flesh and blood mixed with black feathers directly confused the axe-blade warrior's face. Nemas. The axe-blade warrior stepped back and quickly wiped the scraps of flesh from his face. As a result, when I touched it with my hand, I actually touched blood on my hand. That was his blood. An entry also appeared at the same time. Late stage of the Black Death. You are about to die. Axe-blade warrior. Advertisement. Before he could react, his eyes blurred and he fell straight to the ground. On his deathbed, he finally understood that the Black Crow was a suicide attack and that at 1 o'clock he was in the advanced stage of the Black Death. This special code doesn't give you a way to survive. Congratulations, you killed a mercenary professional. Axe-blade warrior, experience drop. 30,000, equipment drop. Bloodblade battle axe, platinum level. Bang 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 bang. The surrounding Black Crows exploded one after another, covering people's faces with broken flesh and blood. The mercenary professional could curse angrily at first, but when he saw the negative effect prompt that suddenly appeared on him, he was stunned and fell to the ground. Congratulations, you killed a mercenary professional clown assassin, experience drop. 27,000, equipment drop. Clown red nose, platinum level. Congratulations, you killed a mercenary professional sharpshooter, experience drop. 30,000, equipment drop. Revolver, platinum level. After the Black Crows spreading the disease join the battlefield, the killing effect will indeed increase several times. No matter how far the mercenary professional escapes, he will be gone with one Black Crow dash. It turns out this is how others contracted the Black Death. It's a little different than my infection, but how'd I build on this? If we talk about transforming and innovating the Kingdom of Bones, the difficulty is 1. So for a disease like the Black Death, the difficulty of transformation and innovation is 100,000, because it already exists in reality and conforms to the logic of reality. It is too difficult to change what is fixed. The Holy Royal Family needs to concentrate the efforts of the entire clan to conduct research, but in the end they fail. Skills carry not only higher damage and changes in power forms, but also a deeper understanding of professional power. My skills can be upgraded once every second. When Black Death is promoted next time, I can master more with relevant knowledge. It will be much easier to carry out the transformation when the time comes. Qin-Zi nodded slightly. This kind of thing really cannot be rushed. At this time, he looked up at Li Yuhao, who was stuck on the wooden stake in the distance. Young Master Li. The first time they met, they were sent directly to prison. When we meet for the second time, are we going to send him to his death in person? What a bad fate. Did people from Li's headquarters release you? Qin-Zi asked. Ha ha ha, you are really smart. Li Yuhao laughed arrogantly, and then spit out a mouthful of blood. The big shot in Li's headquarters is more powerful than you can imagine. Qin-Zi shrugged. No wonder this guy is still so arrogant and insists on speaking hard even when he is about to die. Go to hell, Chapter 96. Flesh and blood made of plasma. You can kill me, I'm from the Li family. The young master of the Li family may have never thought that he would die. He was used to being domineering and domineering all the way. Even if he killed someone in the dungeon or even in reality, the Li family company would help him deal with the mess, and he would not have to pay any price in the end. Anyway, Li's company is the local emperor of Linhai City. But now, he discovered that he might actually die. Li's company may not be able to protect him this time. Before he died, he thought, I might as well stay in jail. Peeved. Blood splashed on the face of the bearded man next to him. The latter didn't even bother to wipe it, and was trembling in fear. You dare to come up here at level 15. Do you want to jump to another level and F*** me? When Qin-Zi saw Li Yuhao's level, his eyes immediately widened. Congratulations, you killed a professional swordsman, dropped experience, 7,000, dropped equipment, disabling sword, gold level. The experience dropped at low levels was not enough, so Qin Zi set his sights on the Dark Knight. The latter suddenly trembled, and liquid flowed out from below. Oh, your level is the highest here. There must be a lot of experience in falling. The Wolf King quickly said, wait a minute, how about we make a deal? I will definitely come up with something that will satisfy you. Let's make a deal, let's talk about it. In the main dungeon of the Central District, Black Emperor, the Holy Royal Family you see is just one of the families under the Empire. In fact, the main quest of each dungeon is a force in the Empire. The choice of camp ultimately determines whether you are a Black Emperor. The Emperor's camp is still the Rebel camp, and if you want to participate in the main dungeon in the central area, you need the Black Emperor's permission, the Wolf King said urgently. You will definitely be on the big stage in the Central District in the future. I will help you solve this problem. How about you spare my life? I always thought that the Black Emperor was a nickname, but I didn't expect that there really was a Black Emperor in the main dungeon in the Central District. Wait a minute, you said you need the Black Emperor's permission to enter the main dungeon? Qin Zi looked shocked. There's a lot of information here. First of all, the Black Emperor must know the Black Abyss and the human world, and at the same time have the ability to control this world and resist the Black Abyss. This is a bit scary. If the Black Emperor is made anxious, it is very possible for him to counterattack. Oh, thank you for the information, but, sorry, I already have a mentor from the Central District. She can get the so-called Black Emperor's permission for me, so I don't need you to worry about it. You can just go home happily. This is a key resource. Your mentor can't get it for you unless you pass the test and the contribution reaches the standard. The Wolf King said anxiously, but he choked up mid-sentence. Advertisement, very well, you realize that these are not problems for me. You can go now. Qin Zi raised his right hand, and the black death pathogens gathered at his fingertips, eventually forming a strange black spear. In the Wolf King's desperate eyes, it was sent into his chest with a puff. Immediately afterwards, the black spear blasted out several thin branches, and then suddenly pierced the Wolf King's chest, like a black cactus. -58,239, Black Death Outbreak, Death. Congratulations, you killed the mercenary leader Dark Knight. Experience drop. 50,000, Equipment drop. Obsidian Spear, Diamond level. 50,000 experience, so happy. No, why don't you bribe me with money? If you give me a lot, maybe I'll be tempted. Qin Zi was very surprised. However, when everyone died, the money was also put into the coffin board. He cast his gaze into the distance. The Holy Royal Guards were hiding far away. When they saw Qin Zi's gaze, they immediately jumped back, looking embarrassed. To be honest, the combat power of the Holy Royal Family in the second stage of Holy Transformation is not bad, especially the basic attributes have reached 3,000 plus. If you pick one out at random, it will be a boss-level existence in an ordinary copy. The only drawback is that the experience given is too little. The most important thing is that they have some resistance to the Black Death, unlike professionals who bleed directly from their orifices after being infected. Let me see the Thunder Skeleton Clan summoning technique, placed on the skill upgrade slot. Calculating the time, it has been 3 days since I put it up, and I haven't done anything about it since then. It has been upgraded after clicking it. Thunder Skeleton Summoning Technique. Right pointing arrow, Thunder Skeleton Summoning Technique. Thunder Skeleton King Summoning Technique the 55.573. Summon one of the 5 Skeleton Kings, the Skeleton King sitting on the Thunder Throne, to fight for you. Mana consumption, 10,000, duration, 1 day. Thunder Skeleton Emperor? He must have a deep understanding of bones, skeletons and the like. If you have time in the future, we must have an in-depth exchange of ideas. Now that the skill has been upgraded, the final step is to hang Ghoul Next Summoning Technique on the skill upgrade slot. After it is promoted, all skills will be promoted to 1 level. Come out, my Thunder Skeleton King. Qin Zi raised the skull staff in his hand, and a circle with a diameter of 10 meters spread out in front of him. It was not a magic circle, but a constant flow of plasma, like boiling and rolling magma. Immediately afterwards, the plasma bulged upwards, and a big skeleton hand flashing with mysterious spells stretched out, and then touched the ground next to it. Who disturbed my plasma bath? Advertisement accompanied by an extremely unpleasant sound. A generous skull slowly rose. Plasma flows along its bones and forms muscle-like strips, attached between each bone. The Skeleton Emperor also possesses the plasma hearts that ordinary thunder skeletons possess, but among his hundreds of ribs, there are 5 plasma hearts that pump plasma to all parts of the body one after another. Oh, my lord, please forgive me for my rude words just now. After the Thunder Skeleton Emperor climbed out of the plasma pool, he immediately became more respectful when he saw Qin Zi. Well, you go and get rid of these holy royal families. Understood, my lord. After receiving the order, the Thunder Skeleton Emperor bent his knees slightly, and a large number of arcs of electricity erupted from his legs. Condensed for a moment, then suddenly jumped into the sky. Its feet were stacked together, and it stepped downwards fiercely. War Stampede. The Holy Royal Guards were frightened to the ground one by one. They opened their mouths and looked at the sky full of lightning and the skeleton feet wrapped in plasma flesh and blood. Their eyes were full of horror and despair. Boom! The Thunder Skeleton Emperor stepped on the commander of the Holy Royal Guard army, and the latter shattered directly along with the lightning. -136,722, Plasma Tear. -32,842 -332,749. Plasma Tear minus 342,854, Plasma Tear. Congratulations, you killed a Holy Royal Guards commander and gained experience, 23,000. Congratulations, you killed a Holy Royal Guard and gained experience, 3,000. Congratulations, you killed a Holy Royal Guard and gained experience, 3,000. Congratulations, you have been upgraded to LV.24, all attributes plus 2, free attributes plus 6, blood volume plus 1000, mana volume plus 500. Congratulations, the camp mission breaking through the defense line has been completed. Experience reward. 1 million, reward, Shining Level Equipment Treasure Box 1. Special reward. Perfect Treasure Box 1, Bobo Career Inheritance, meeting camp points conditions. There is still one level left before career change and inheritance. Chapter 97 Inspirational Skull, Thunder Skeleton King. This set of flesh and blood composed of plasma flowing is really impressive. Not only does it have the beauty of a muscular giant, but the bright blue plasma also erases the ferocious discomfort. With a figure of nearly 15 meters tall, he stood out from the crowd in defense. At the same time, the Thunder Skeleton King also overcomes the shortcomings of the skeleton monster's slow movement. The muscles composed of plasma give it the ability to move like a creature, allowing it to run wantonly on the battlefield and perform horrific war tramples. And it itself also likes this feeling of punching to the flesh. Open black lens bracket Thunder Skeleton King close black lens bracket open black lens bracket Special Monster Root close black lens bracket, level, LV.24. Cannot exceed the summoner's level limit. HP, 200,000, basic attributes, Strength 5,271, Agility 3,721, Intelligence 2230. Skill 1. Perfect Plasma Muscles. Exclusive to the Thunder Skeleton family, the Thunder Skeleton King uses the super affinity of the Thunder Skeleton physique to plasma. While the bones can accommodate a large amount of plasma, they can be connected to other holding points to form a set of precise thunder muscle tissue. The Thunder Skeleton King imitates human beings. Create 5 hearts by yourself to perfectly solve the problem of plasma energy circulation. Attribute bonus. Strength plus 2000, Agility plus 300, Intelligence plus 1000, Damage plus 200%, and comes with Plasma Decomposition ability, which can cause 30,000 to 50,000 continuous damage to the enemy and cannot be treated. The speed can be accumulated for 1 to 8 seconds and reaches 25 ms, 300 ms. Skill 2. Throne of Thunder. The Thunder Skeleton King sits on the Thunder Throne, enjoys the majestic power of thunder from all directions, provides a steady stream of thunder energy, and has unlimited thunder resurrection capabilities. Chanting for 1 hour can perform ultra-long distance summoning. After successfully summoning the Thunder Throne, all thunder levels will be increased, all thunder bonuses will be increased tenfold, and a thunder strike will be performed on the enemy once per second, causing 100,000 fixed points of thunder damage. Note: the foundation of the Thunder Skeleton clan, losing it equals the destruction of the clan. Skill 3. Fighting Secret Technique. Before the Thunder Skeleton Emperor sat on the Thunder Throne, he was the only outcast in the clan who could not control the thunder. All the skeletons chose to ignore it and let it fend for itself, so it embarked on a difficult path to seek power and succeeded. After returning, he has mastered a set of skeleton fighting secret techniques that no one can defeat. All the skeletons congratulate the Great Skeleton Emperor for ascending to the Throne of Thunder. Including the branch abilities, War Trample, Speed Heavy Attack, Block and Diffuse, and so on. Skill 4. Thunder Summoning. Chanting for 10 seconds, a thunder portal will be drawn, and the 4 Thunder Skeleton Generals will climb out and fight side by side with the Skeleton King. Introduction. This is an inspirational skeleton. F*K. Is this such an inspiring skeleton? This time, Shinzi was not moved by the power of the Thunder Skeleton Emperor. But because of its indomitable will, it forcibly carved out a path of its own. Well, it's a bit like me. When we go back late at night, let's have a long talk. 3 people go together, there must be my teacher. Advertisement. Shinzi felt that he could learn a lot from the Thunder Skeleton Emperor. Bursts of lightning erupted not far away, and the battle between the Thunder Skeleton King was coming to an end. No, spare my life, I'm very familiar with this area. I will take you wherever you want to go. The guards of the Holy Royal family, whose faces were covered in blood, screamed in fear. The Thunder Skull Emperor pressed him down and raised his fist. But because of these words, he was stunned, and then he raised his head and looked at Shinzi. Leading party. I hate those who lead the way the most. Kill them. Boom. The Thunder Skull Emperor didn't hesitate, and punched down with lightning. The bones of the Thunder Royal family guardsmen were reduced to pieces. Congratulations, you killed a Holy Royal Guard and gained experience, 7,000. Congratulations, the camp mission is completed. The defensive line of the Holy Royal family completely collapsed, marking the end of the bloody rule of the Holy Royal family. The path to divine transformation is not sacred. The path to strength explored from ancient diseases can only fall into the unknown abyss. Before the disaster comes, before that, please end all this and give the Bobo people and other creatures that have suffered annihilation a home. Trigger new camp mission. Kill the final boss, General Black Sun. Hidden mission. Prevent the castle from presenting perfect research results to the Black Emperor. Countdown. 1 month. The defensive line was in a mess, with all kinds of broken walls and broken limbs mixed with flesh and blood. A few short flashes of lightning flashed from time to time among the bloodstained mud. It's all over, but not over either. Yellow Quang's right hand. Everything in the world is changing, and countless numb souls have entered the right hand of hell. The soul reserve is rising rapidly, 50,000 50,000ths. The remaining 20 or so souls were all treated as blue pills. Death Raider, activate, intelligence +5, blood volume, mana recovery 1000 points. Death Raider, activate, strength +5, blood volume, mana recovery 1000 points. Advertisement. The mana level, which had almost bottomed out, suddenly filled up again. I feel really uncomfortable not being able to release my skills arbitrarily. We must get the Bobo people's inheritance. If you kill General Black Sun, you should be able to reach level 25 and be able to change jobs. At this time, the Queen of Darkness's voice suddenly sounded from the side. My lord, what should I do with this dark bone horse? Qin Zi looked at the dark horse with upright bones. The slender neck bones looked quite beautiful. You want to take it back? That's okay too. No, my lord misunderstood. It is originally a clan of darkness. Qin Zi immediately understood after hearing this. It turned out that the Queen of Darkness actually had the property of protecting shortcomings. When she saw a creature belonging to the Dark Tribe, she subconsciously wanted to give it a better home. But what to do? Now only the Kingdom of Bones has a better tolerance. Qin Zi nodded and stretched out his hand to hold the dark bone horse. The Kingdom of Bones. Countless giant crescent bones emerged from both sides, and then inserted into each other. I didn't plan on doing this. Qin Zi was stunned when he saw this. The skill he released, Bone Kingdom, did not take away the dark bone horse as he wanted. Instead, a building similar to a bone bridge appeared. You must know that there is a precedent for Sao Lily's skeleton, which has proven that this trick is feasible, but this time he couldn't be defeated. The dark bone horse was dejected, falling into depression and panic, but when it saw the bone bridge composed of crescent bones in front of it, its eyes suddenly lit up, it looked up to the sky and neighed happily, and then galloped happily with the hoof bones on the bone bridge. Have a great time. It disappears at the end of the bone bridge, I see. Qin Zi suddenly realized. The Kingdom of White Bones is connected to the consciousness of the Dark Bone Horse, and it forms the place where the Dark Bone Horse has always been looking forward to, where it can gallop freely. The Kingdom of Bones created by one person's consciousness is just a toy-like playing house. But the Kingdom of Bones was created by the will of countless creatures. That's Dynasty. This time, he realized it again. Chapter 98 Hidden Inheritance Route. Linhai City, on the top floor of Li's company building. The middle-aged man sat at the computer desk with a serious expression, typing words one by one on the keyboard with 2 fingers. At the same time, there was a contract submitted below on his right-hand side. He glanced at it and signed it easily. The inspector of the Li clan, Li Wei, LV.43, is a professional dragon fighter. The result was a mess. He even witnessed the death scene of Li Xinggang's wife and the signs of Li Xinggang's decline. According to this situation, Li's company would collapse in a few months, so he took over Li's company and began to deal with various matters, including destroying the officially established mall. At this time, the company secretary hurried over and said, Li, Mr. Li, the official mall has lowered the price again. If we lower it again, we will have no profit. What should we do now? Do you need me to emphasize it again? We will always be much cheaper than them, even if we lose money. Li Wei raised his head dissatisfied and looked at the secretary. Understood. The secretary walked out quickly, not forgetting to close the door. My family is very concerned about the dungeon resources in Linhai City. Whether it is the inheritance of the Holy Royal Family or the inheritance of the Bobo people, they are suitable for cultivating related professionals on a large scale. There is also a hidden inheritance among them. The people of our family have discovered that it is very possible. Solve the dungeon dilemma in the central area. I am going to get the hidden inheritance this time. Li Xinggong has brought a lot of benefits to the family. Now his will has sunk and he even killed his wife with his own hands, so I can only sacrifice him. Li Wei finished typing the last character. Then he slowly closed his laptop and walked step by step to the living room. Sacrifice ceremony. He began to sing, and hot sounds continued to come out of his lips. The scarlet pentagram appeared spinning from the bottom of his feet, and then continued to expand with the chanting, just filling the hall. The sofa and coffee table that received guests seemed to be immersed in some kind of fluid, sinking crookedly into the scarlet pentagram. Soon, the entire room became empty, with various stone pillars rising from the surroundings, dim candlelight lighting up on them, and an outstretched stone claw appearing in the middle. It's like a weird-looking piece of art that can see people. Li Wei's whole body was glowing with red fighting spirit. When the chanting stopped, he slowly raised his head, his eyes focused on a point in front of him, and there seemed to be something there. He made a thick, deep voice and began to shout, In the name of my bloodline, I order you, Li Xinggong, to return. The family needs your blood and flesh, give everything you have. Advertisement. As his voice continued to sound, the space in front of him slowly began to twist and rotate. Finally, a bloody vortex formed. Just where he had just seen, Li Xinggong was inserted into a sharp iron pillar in a weird posture, put on from below, with his feet clasped around his neck, and his hands stretched downwards. His skin was like charcoal. Layers. Li Xinggang's eyes were full of madness and he kept mumbling something. When he saw Li Wei, his body suddenly trembled, and a look of pain appeared on his face. The people from this family are finally here. Li Wei looked at him solemnly, and then said lightly, I am very disappointed in you. I know. Li Xinggang's expression returned to clarity, and the pain that followed made his face distort, but he still could not hide the look of shame. The layout of Lee's company was disintegrated, and I couldn't even control the main dungeon. I even fell into it and killed my wife. I have fully taken over Lee's company, and I have also pressured you to release your son. From now on, Linhai City will still be ruled by the Lee family, Li Wei said meticulously. That's good, that's good. Li Xingdang's painful expression softened a little, and his son should still be able to inherit some of it. Now I have given you a new mission. If you succeed, you will not only be able to keep your position in Linhai City, but you will even have the opportunity to be accepted into our family in the Central District. Are you willing to sacrifice for your bloodline? Really? I am so willing. Li Xingdang raised his head with difficulty. This family requires you to complete the 3 stages of divine transformation and finally transform into a cocoon. Li Xingdang. Could it be that? With the noble blood of the Li family, I think you can get through this difficulty. I will be here to assist you throughout the process, observe your condition, and give you appropriate guidance so that you can complete the final transformation into a cocoon. But what should Qin Zi do? That's what happened to me, Li Xingdang said bitterly. He already has an official mentor from the Central District. I can't touch him, and I don't plan to touch him. Our goal is to obtain hidden inheritance and mass-produce powerful new generation professionals. When the main dungeon ends this time, he will follow after the mentor leaves. Linhai City still belongs to our Li family. But if he's looking for death and bumps into him, don't blame me. Li Xingdang. Hidden inheritance? At this time, Li Wei looked at him and suddenly grinned. Advertisement. The Holy Royal Family and the Bobo people come from the same origin. Li Xingdang was stunned. I was speechless for a long time. This is a life crystal, you eat it first. The reason why General Black Sun failed is that the ancient disease was too deeply infected but did not have strong recovery ability, which ultimately led to a state of half-death. I will use life system props to forcefully maintain it for you. This time, we must succeed. Announcement. Lee's company professional team, all dead. Announcement. Lee's company mercenary professional team, all dead. Announcement. Lee's company elite professional team, all dead. Announcement. Qin Zi's team successfully broke through the defensive line of the Holy Royal Family and received the first pass reward, first pass treasure box 1. The continuous announcements immediately confused all the professionals. Li Xingdang, who was struggling painfully in the 3rd stage, immediately raised his head. My son. Your son is very good, focus on breaking through the 3rd stage. When Li Wei spoke, his expression did not change. Li Xingdang. Oh, that's good. But on the internet, 1 stone stirred up 3 waves, detonating instantly. What? All the professional teams of Lee's company were wiped out. This is too exciting, isn't it? They chose the Holy Royal Family camp, which has an absolute advantage on the battlefield, and they are all dead. Did they mess with something that they shouldn't mess with? The presence? Could this be Qin Zi's doing? If I remember correctly, how could he kill so many professionals in the main dungeon that he only entered at level 20? Who else could it be? Didn't you see the announcement later? Qin Zi's team broke through the defensive line of the Holy Royal Family. He was advancing with great success. The professional team blocked his way. Naturally, he was killed directly. Holy shit, how many teams have been destroyed? The reincarnation of the killer embryo. Killing embryos, I like it so much. Chapter 99 Full Bloom. The inspector of the Li family announced the arrival of the day. The entire Linhai City was as silent as a cicada, no one dared to say a word. People finally remembered what a behemoth the super aristocratic Li family was. Mayor, the dungeon mall system we just established has completely collapsed. If this continues, we will be knocked back to the previous state and completely lose control of professionals and dungeon resources. I can't beat the opponent at all. The people from the Li family this time are too stable and experienced. There are almost no mistakes in their operations. Every step they take is on the offensive node, which makes people breathless. Mayor, what should I do? This can't go on like this. At the high-level meeting of Linhai City, all the ministers were chattering. They didn't expect that the people of the Li family were so terrifying and too powerful. After taking over the Li company, he immediately launched an all-round attack on them, leaving no chance to breathe, and was still consolidating. Expand your advantages. Just like a Go Master, while constantly eating black stones, he also fills the board with his own white stones. What makes them most uncomfortable is that the opponent's tricks are mediocre, and they can figure them out even if they use their brains a little. But with just such a move, they were beaten to a pulp. Tang Zhu sat on the chair and remained silent. After a long time, she let out a long sigh and said, "You have done a very good job. This world is so unfair. Some people are destined to be brilliant, while others are destined to live a mediocre life. We in the Li family are unable to fight and cannot fight, so we can only accept the final result. We are finished." The ministers who were arguing suddenly fell silent. Although I am not willing to let the many days of hard work go to waste, this is the reality. At this time, kill announcements sounded one after another. What? All the professional team of Li company died. Damn it, Li's company actually recruited mercenaries. These are a group of murderous and crazy guys. Qin Zi killed them all, very well, and even broke through the defensive line of the Holy Royal Family. Everyone's complexion suddenly became much better. Qin Zi is really awesome, but the haze followed, and the Li family members had arrived. What waves can he create? The best ending is for him to leave Linhai City and go to the Central District, while Linhai City remains as it was before. I can only hope that Qin Zi can save himself. Advertisement. Don't die. In Mansion City, Bai Di is standing in the main dungeon, Sea War, Black Abyss Connection. Hanging on her waist was her favorite white sword. Her teammates were standing around, checking equipment and props with serious faces. The main dungeon is very difficult, and professionals of any level may die in it. And this time the dungeon environment is on the sea, so the danger and difficulty level are greatly increased. Hey, my good student actually killed all the professionals in Lee's company. Bai Di felt the phone vibrating on his waist, so he took it out and took a look, with a look of joy on his face. These guys also hired mercenary professionals. When we return to the central district, we must ask the Lee family for an explanation. They're trying to murder my students. You have to pay. At this time, the black vortex began to accelerate, and the surrounding space began to distort. Bai Di's face condensed, and as the captain, she immediately said in a deep voice, "If you want to enter the main dungeon, Maritime War, it's too late for anyone who wants to withdraw. You are not allowed to take any unauthorized actions after entering. You must obey my orders. Otherwise, a tragic death is none of my business." As soon as these words came out, everyone trembled. The Black Abyss dungeon is always full of dangers. Even if there are high-level professionals, there is a high probability of death. No one is talking. I want to enter. Along with the distortion of space, the salty and cool sea breeze blows in your face. The endless ocean has rough waves. Only the ship plank under your feet is your last resort. Faction mission. Kill the final boss, General Black Sun. Liu Yang. We have finally come to this point. What do you think General Black Sun will look like? Will he be able to control the Black Sun or something and burn us all to death? Catwoman. Meow, meow, Black Sun is also a nickname. Do you really think he can control Meow of the Black Sun? I think he is a tough guy wearing black armor, the kind who can punch out a person's brains, for sure. It's a fist-to-flesh fighting style. Mushui. How did you guess he was a tough guy? Catwoman. Catwoman doesn't always look like that in the movies. Her muscles are huge and her face looks like it's been cut with a knife. Mushui. Hiss, what you said makes sense. Anyway, no matter how scary I feel, he can't compare to Qin Zi. He is now the terrifying ceiling in my cognition, and the monster in the video can't compare. Qin Zi. Am I that terrible? Mushui said confidently. Of course, it's okay now. During the battle just now, it directly gave me a physiological fear reaction. Advertisement Qin Zi. Liu Yang. Sun Yunlong. What is a physiological reaction? I don't understand. At this time, Qin Zi's voice sounded. Here we are. Everyone's hearts trembled and they all stopped. A place similar to a manor appeared in front of them, and a gate composed of dark metal bars blocked them. Behind the iron gate is a withered garden. The trees and flowers are all dead, and the black branches are scattered everywhere. Deep in the manor, women's screams could be heard from time to time. And a monster-like roar. It seems that General Black Sun is at home today. Qin Zi decided to give this final boss plenty of respect. Come out, my forbidden touch. Come out, my desperate naval battle cemetery. Sacrifice 10 souls, trigger the Death Raider, randomly add 50 attribute points, and replenish mana consumption. Come out, my ghoul necks. The kingdom of bones, the realm expands. Come out, my infected black crows. Sacrifice 10 more souls, the Death Raider is triggered, 50 attributes are randomly added, and mana consumption is replenished. Rumble. The 5-pointed star summoning array appeared one after another, and the ghoul necks crawled out with grinning teeth. The forbidden touch guarded the entrance of the manor. The black crows that spread the disease like a swarm of insects circled in the sky, and the sky was filled with darkness. Summoning the trench, the mermaid skeletons and dreadnought ship skeletons inside are all impatient. As for the Thunderskull Emperor and the Dark Queen, they have always been with him and have never taken them back. Qin Zi glanced at his army and nodded slightly. 4 teammates, including Liu Yang and Mu Shui, looked shocked. So many terrifying undead summons were dispatched together, it was so shocking. General Black Sun, here I come. Qin Zi gestured forward, and thousands of infected black crows swooped in first. Ghoul Nex waved his claws and split the black iron door into pieces. Rush. Chapter 100 Breaking through the General's mansion. Bang. The dark iron door broke open from the outside and shattered into countless pieces of debris. The Ghoul Nex crawled out screaming, his 2 big protruding eyes looking for meat to devour. The army of pitch black skeletons rushed out, their teeth rattling, their empty eye sockets filled with a breathtaking darkness, and the Queen of Darkness with scarlet eyes walked behind, holding the Queen's long bow tightly in her hand, with her fingertips resting on the bowstring. Behind him was Qin Zi, who was walking casually, looking around for the roar coming from the depths of the manor. Who are you, who dare to break into the General's mansion? Don't want to live anymore? The guards of the Holy Royal Family's general mansion appeared and shouted sternly. The sacred spar between their brows looks like a black spiderweb. This is a sign that the second stage of divine transformation has reached the late stage. If you are determined to enter the castle, you can successfully enter the third stage of divine transformation, but by then your consciousness will lose control and you will completely collapse. Because in the chaos, only General Black Sun could maintain his sanity. Noisy. Qin Zi glanced at them and spoke calmly. A light tap with your fingertips, destroy them. Before he finished speaking, lightning suddenly exploded in the air, and a huge thing jumped out. Ejection start. Boom. The huge fist struck down with lightning flashing, hammering it directly into the ground. Minus 162,389, plasma tear. Minus 30,000 minus 163,290, plasma tear, minus 30,000. Minus 167,234, plasma tear, minus 30,000. Electricity flowed through the soil, giving off a burning smell. Congratulations, you killed a guard of the Holy Royal Family General's mansion and gained experience, 13,000. Congratulations, you killed a guard of the Holy Royal Family General's mansion and gained experience, 12,500. Real men never look back to see the explosion. The General's mansion guard whose limbs were shattered by a punch has been mixed with the soil. The army of the undead didn't even look back and rushed towards the depths in a mighty manner. But, advertisement at this time, there is always someone who breaks the formation. Ah. The ghoul next lay on the smoking soil, looking at the burnt limbs mixed into soil, and screamed in pain, as if he was shouting. What a waste, what a waste. Mermaid skeletons fell like raindrops, hitting the decaying flowers and plants of the General's mansion. The dauntless ship skeleton rushed in like a mountain. The broken ropes and masts on the ship had been completely repaired, and it was swinging more powerfully. It came with a ship full of pirate skeletons, and all the pirate skeletons were screaming, because they can feel that there are treasures in the so-called General's mansion that they love to hear about. Despair and fear spread in the General's mansion, and the Holy Royal Guards were already shouting in fear. This is a true natural disaster. There was no decent resistance along the way. The Holy Royal Guards were like paper, unable to withstand the Thunderskull Emperor's second punch. The Queen of Darkness can also charge up one arrow every second. The Ghoul Nex is a bit weak. It needs to fight with the Holy Royal Guards for a while and rely on its fighting instinct to kill the opponent. However, it likes to have plenty of food and clothing. It hunts and eats by itself. As long as it passes by the thunder, there is no corpse that the Skeleton Emperor and the Dark Queen can eat. The woman's screams were getting closer and closer, and the lewd laughter and roars were getting stronger and stronger. It seems that there is no change due to the coming of the undead natural disaster. Does General Black Sun like to play so much? It's all called in, and it's still messing around. Qin Zi frowned slightly. There seems to be something wrong with this Black Sun General. On his way here, the mermaid skeletons that fell from the sky and the black crows that spread the epidemic had already rushed in, but they didn't seem to disturb General Black Sun's good deeds, and all kinds of cries continued one after another. In the giant trench suspended in the sky, the skeleton of a deep-sea titan appeared, and then fell straight into the depths of the General's mansion. Boom! The skeleton of the deep-sea titan fell from the sky, causing the entire ground to tremble. About 15 meters tall, he poked out from the wall of the General's mansion. It raised the giant anchor covered with seaweed high and then slammed it down. Dang! The dull sound of metal collision sounded, and the giant anchor weighing more than 10 tons suddenly flew into the sky like a kite with its string broken. Then it drew an arc in the air and crashed into the ground, leaving a big crater. Lu Yang, Mu Shui and others who had not yet stepped in were trembling. Lu Yang. My mother, this Black Sun General is not built. The heavy iron anchor just hit the sky, with a height of more than 10 meters. What kind of power is this? Mu Shui. It is worthy of being the final boss of the nightmare level mainline dungeon. I saw it today. I think even if tens of thousands of people attack this boss, we may not be able to win it. It will take at least hundreds of thousands of people, and all of them must be at level 40. In this way, let's kill the boss alive. Advertisement. Catwoman is a bit of an nymphomaniac and seems to have a general complex. I don't know why, but the image of Lu Biu popped up in my mind. It must have been some kind of weapon collision just now. Sun Yunlong. Is this a place I can come to? General Black Sun, how many kilograms and tails? Just look at it and you will know. Bang! Qin Zi raised his foot and kicked the dark door open. The bulky figure of General Black Sun gradually appeared in everyone's sight. Catwoman stood stunned on the spot for a moment, her filters shattered on the floor. She turned around and vomited directly. Those layers of fat that look like lard, are you serious? And it turned black, as if I hadn't showered in several years. And what he was doing was even more unsightly. The futon-like palms were playing with two slender women, and there were even a few caught in the fat folds, as if they were enjoying the feeling of friction. You ruined my good deeds. General Black Sun's smile faded, and his dark eyes were dotted with golden streaks. He looked directly at Qin Zi with murderous intent. Dark Destroyer, you should join us in pursuing strength together. General Black Sun's voice was low, and his body slowly rose. It looked like he was standing up, but the fat was still hanging on the ground. The golden diamond-shaped crystal between his eyebrows lit up, releasing brilliant golden light, and at the same time lit up all the golden stripes on his body. The golden light was so bright that he actually had a sense of divinity, like a Buddha who saved all sentient beings. But then, the light released by the rhombus crystal began to turn black, as if it was broken. The golden stripes cracked into the shape of a Ruan spider web. The black spider web broke away from General Black Sun's body, but swayed in the surrounding air, like a black mist composed of fine lines. Paired with a fat body, at first glance it looks like a black sun giving off its luster. This is the so-called Black Sun General, his final form. At this time, ancient diseases also appeared in another form. Chapter 101 Disease Showdown in the General's Mansion. The trench hangs upside down in the sky, and a rain of white skulls hits the ground. The screams of the Holy Royal Guards came from various places. They danced with the mermaid skeleton, which was very lively. And in the deepest part of the courtyard of the General's dormitory. Various special effects such as thunder and lightning, dark energy, and undead breath are all fully used, but it is still very quiet. The people here didn't dare to show off their anger. General Black Sun seemed to have taken away the light from people's eyes. The golden lines all over the big fat mass of General Black Sun have separated from the body and exploded into the shape of a black spiderweb in the air. From a distance, it looks like a layer of black mist is surrounding it, and its body is shrouded in the dark mist. If you look closely, you will find that the black mist is growing on the body, and it moves like a water plant. There is no doubt that this is the manifestation of an ancient disease. To use a specific metaphor, it is somewhat similar to releasing fighting spirit. You almost slaughtered our holy royal family, Dark Destroyer. The Black Emperor also attaches great importance to our path of sacred transformation. Each research report must be submitted to the top. You are so ignorant and don't know what you are doing. It is really arrogant to think that you are in control of everything because you are an outsider. General Black Sun's voice was hoarse, and his tone was that of a winner. His dark eyes looked at Qin Zi as if he were looking at a dead person. You don't care what I do, it's better than playing with women here. You obviously don't even have an excretion outlet anymore, so I can't figure out how you can play with it. A dead eunuch sits here and rubs women's bodies every day. It's very funny when I think about it. You said you were here for the Black Emperor, then you sit here. How long have you been here? 10 years, right? What progress have you made? Or, do you die like this every day? Qin Zi said with a chuckle, and every word made General Black Sun's body tremble with anger. You, until the last word is spoken. His body couldn't help himself anymore, and the black mist all around him began to become sharper. Lies do no harm, the truth is the sharpest knife. There are no signs. The black mist probed out a thin black line of material and stabbed Qin Zi fiercely. As this? Breaking the defense? Advertisement. Qin Zi raised his eyebrows slightly and immediately released the Black Death in his body. The Black Death Taboo, Black Death Explosive Spear. Countless pathogen particles exploded, and under the guidance of Qin Zi, they quickly condensed into a strange-shaped spear, like a dead black branch, which quickly extended along the air and collided with the slender black line coming out of the black mist. There was no explosion, no violent reaction. The two sides actually merged together in the air and then remained motionless. It seemed that both sides had returned to peace. But judging from the black mist swirling around General Black Sun and the solemn look on Qin Zi's face, things are not that simple at all. At the microscopic level, two pathogens are fighting like crazy. My lord. The Thunder Skeleton Emperor looked worried. He was a skeleton and theoretically was not afraid of ancient diseases. But he didn't dare to move without Qin Zi's order. The Queen of Darkness had a solemn face, and the dark skeletons under her command could not withstand the pressure of General Black Sun. One by one, they broke into pieces, and various ribs and leg bones were scattered on the floor. Ghoul Nex was so anxious that he was walking around in circles, scratching his skull with his claws from time to time, not daring to step forward rashly. Because it knows that once it goes up, it will die. Lu Yang. Hey, dear, what kind of fight is this between gods and gods? Can a mortal like me see it? General Black Sun scared my legs so much that I can't move. What should I do? Mu Shui glanced at him and said to her heart, you also feel how I feel. If she could get out alive this time, she didn't believe anyone could get out with their pants on. Meow. Catwoman stood with her legs, and Sun Yulong's condition was the worst. He had fallen to the ground and unknown liquid slowly flowed out. The two people in front of them are terrifying beings who can destroy the city with just a wave of their hands. When General Black Sun saw that his ancient disease was blocked, he immediately raised his head in shock, his fat body trembling with black mist, and he shouted in disbelief. What, you also have a disease? You can even fight against my holy transformation line? This is impossible, absolutely impossible. Confrontation? You underestimate my Black Death? Eat? Advertisement. Qin Zi pointed forward, and the Black Death's explosive spear began to grow wildly forward, devouring the black line of disease along the way. 100% control is so powerful. General Black Sun's complexion changed drastically, and his fat body immediately jumped back, with waves of flesh rolling out. The black line of ancient diseases has also been broken. Qin Zi did not pursue, but also took back the Black Death condensation spear. In the disease duel, the emphasis is on home field suppression. He is afraid that he will be eaten if he enters with the Black Death pathogen. How come you have a disease, and it's different from mine? General Black Sun looked at Qin Zi in shock. He still couldn't believe it. The Holy Royal Family had been studying ancient diseases for so long and finally reached the edge of control. Now the results are popping up. One person, with a new disease, could even control it more delicately than him. How could he accept this? The most important thing is that if the Black Emperor knew about this, he would probably abandon the Holy Royal Family immediately. Anyone with a higher rank knows that the Black Emperor's character is to use everything around him just to achieve his own goals. If Qin Zi is willing to contribute the method of controlling new diseases, then he will definitely be promoted to a higher position and take away all the glory that belongs to the sacred royal family. Qin Zi looked at him silently, with black pathogens hovering around him. Unlike General Black Sun, who had a clear black line structure, his pathogens appeared extremely loose, like countless fluffy sands. At the same time, these pathogens were bound around him, so a fog similar to General Black Sun appeared. Transformation effect. Although I can control the Black Death 100%, but there is no fixed structure like General Black Sun, and the utilization efficiency is much lower. The Holy Royal Family's research for so many years has not been in vain. Qin Zi realized it carefully in his heart. The Holy Royal Family's research on ancient diseases can provide an extremely clear direction for his future development of the Black Death. It belongs to crossing the river by touching the sacred royal family. Qin Zi looked at General Black Sun from a distance and said with a chuckle. The warm-up activities have been completed. Ouch! The Thunder Skeleton Emperor roared and stepped forward with lightning all over his body. He couldn't wait to go up and beat the fat man hard. The Queen of Darkness, Ghoul Acres, Sao Lily's Arcane Skeleton Tower, all appeared from all around. You have help, but I don't. The 5 generals are out to receive guests? General Black Sun sneered. 5 grotesque giants slowly walked out of the dormitory. Chapter 102 I want to eat you. This thing is really hard to kill. The test ended and the 2 sides faced off. Qin Zi looked intently at General Black Sun's information and the 5 figures that appeared from the depths of the mansion. Each one looked strange and had obviously been transformed by an ancient disease. Their strength was also higher than that of the Holy Royal Family in the second stage of transformation. Much stronger. With his current strength, it would probably take some trouble to kill General Black Sun. Open black lens bracket General Black Sun close black lens bracket, Nightmare level mainline copy final boss. Level. LV.40. HP. 1 million, basic attributes. Strength 13,728, Agility 3,795, Intelligence 9833. Skill 1. Holy Transformation 3 stages final, failure. General Black Sun experienced countless painful days and nights in the castle, groping hard for the end of the path of divine transformation. His spirit gradually began to go crazy, and his body was mutated by ancient diseases. After enduring all the suffering, he finally came to the end, but he regretted and was afraid. Fall into the abyss of failure forever. Embark on the path of pain full of desires that cannot be satisfied and never die. Basic attributes plus 300%, blood volume recovery speed plus 1000%. When the golden pattern is fully triggered, the complete body of the ancient disease is activated, which can swallow all the surrounding flesh and blood, causing a fatal blow. After the blood volume is emptied, the body will be reorganized on the spot and resurrected with full blood. Skill 2. Diseased Flesh Wave. During the long-term disease experiment, General Black Sun developed puffiness and obesity in his body. After the path of divine transformation failed, the puffiness and obesity reached the extreme. His movements were hindered by the fleshy waves all over his body, and his agility was greatly reduced. However, the fleshy waves all over his body became the strongest shield and the sharpest sword. Agility minus 2,839, diseased flesh wave can change its form with the will of General Black Sun, including but not limited to Black Sun Wings, Black Sun Shield, Black Sun Flesh Thorn, etc. The effects and damage caused are based on the current situation. Change in form. Skill 3. Holy King Insect. General Black Sun sensed the ominous end of the road to divine transformation. That feeling made his soul tremble. After giving up, his body became sick. At the same time, the Holy King Insect gradually hid in the deepest place and fell into a long sleep. When the general is about to die, he will awaken the sacred King Insect. Effect. Unknown, some small skills. Introduction. I have been struggling in pain all my life. Why? Close black lens bracket. It's really tricky. The power directly gave me 13,000, which is more than twice as high as the Thunder Skeleton Emperor, and the blood volume reached 1 million. But this is not the most important thing. After all, as long as there is a health bar, the professionals will kill you. The problem is that people can be resurrected infinitely. Even if they use the human C tactic to wipe out the blood volume, they will be resurrected with full health in a few seconds. All the professionals present will be dumbfounded. Qin Zi quickly analyzed General Black Sun's information panel in his mind. Advertisement and start planning how to play in the future. The information I got from the professionals before showed that General Black Sun has lost his excretion port, and there is another mouth under the eunuch. He is worse than the eunuch. So the strategy discussed by Lee's company is to use the nose and mouth on his face if it is blocked, the circulation in his body will be out of control and the body system will collapse quickly. To put it bluntly, General Black Sun cannot recover from the internal collapse of his body. With a sudden thought, Qin Zi had already figured out General Black Sun's boss fighting method. As the saying goes, you must look at the essence of a problem. The shortcoming of General Black Sun is not the so-called excretion port at all, but the body's maintenance system, which has long been in danger under the torture of ancient diseases, and will collapse with just the slightest intervention. And he has a terrible disease like the Black Death, and it is too easy to touch the depths of General Black Sun's body. The 5 generals who walked out from the depths of the mansion did not have the majesty and domineering appearance of the battlefield, but looked a bit like human-faced dogs. Their skin showed the pale color of experiments, some had extremely large heads, and sharp teeth extended to their ears. Root. Some have extremely long limbs, and can reach the root of the wall with just a little probing, and their basic attributes are much higher than those of the sacred second stage guards. Thunder Skeleton Emperor, summon your subordinates. I respect your will. The Thunder Skeleton King opened his arms, and thunder surged around like purgatory. 4 Thunder General Skeletons who also had plasma muscles slowly walked out. There was only a plasma heart beating in the ribs and chest, and the thunder electric light source on his body was not as stable as the Skull King's. Dark Queen, you take Nex and the other skeletons to deal with the 5 generals. Thunder Skeleton King and I will deal with General Black Sun. As you command, my lord. The Queen of Darkness's eyes flashed with a flash of light, and she led a large army towards General Wu. The dark arrow, which was full of power, hit a sacred royal general and caused him to fly away. Ghoul Acres climbed up quickly and opened his mouth to bite the opponent before he could react. Come out, Forbidden Touch. Sao Lily's arcane skeleton tower assists the Dark Queen. The space in the courtyard continues to break apart, and taboo touches emerge from it. There are countless skulls stacked on top of the tower, and Sao Lily's skeleton stands on top of it holding an arcane staff. In a battle of this level, you don't dare to hide your trump cards. The correct answer is to throw them all out at once and try to kill the boss in seconds, otherwise you will be the one who dies suddenly in the end. Dozens of souls quickly rushed out and penetrated into the bodies of the Queen of Darkness, Axe, etc., igniting the fire of their souls. While increasing the basic attributes, it also restores the amount of mana he consumed. Are you ready, Thunder Skeleton Emperor? Advertisement? Qin Zi took a deep breath and stared at General Black Sun. This was him stepping onto the battlefield in person, which makes me a little excited just thinking about it. My lord. Start killing immediately. The Thunderskull Emperor clenched his fists, and the 5 plasma hearts in his chest pumped vigorously, sending a large amount of electric light to his limbs and bones. His figure quickly grew stronger several times. Ha 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 ha. You have successfully aroused my interest. I want to eat you. General Hei Ri showed a morbid and crazy smile on his face, looking at Qin Zi with eyes full of greed and appetite. The next second, his expression froze, and a huge electric fist hit his face. Boom. The shattered electric light suddenly burst out, and the huge lump of flesh flew out uncontrollably towards the back. It smashed directly into the mansion. Minus 13,238, plasma tear, 13,284. The Thunder Skeleton King flashed, and a huge 15-meter tall figure appeared above the mansion, with his feet slightly bent and stepped downward. War Tramples. Bone Wings, Unfold, Black Death Blast Spear. Several crescent bones spread out behind Qin Zi, and with a slight vibration, they took him flying into the sky. The Black Death Condensation explosive spear in his hand was stabbed down, and its end began to extend infinitely. Stab straight towards the smoke-filled mansion. Liu Yang. Hey, what are we doing now? Mu Shui was silent for a few seconds, and then spoke uncertainly. Shout cheers. And control your sphincter? Chapter 103 Adult Insects? General Black Sun's meaty body smashed into the mansion, splashing a lot of dust. The Thunder Skeleton King's plasma muscles erupted with dazzling arcs of electricity. It jumped up into the sky of the mansion, bent its legs slightly and stomped downwards. War Trample. Boom. Countless electric lights were swimming in the dust and mist. Minus 327, plasma tear, minus 27. The Thunder Skeleton King was stunned for a moment with his eyes flashing with lightning. He felt as if his foot had stepped on something extremely tough. The thunder energy that surged out was therefore isolated, and the damage caused was extremely low. The next moment, huge force was unleashed and it was thrown directly away. Qin Zi unfolded his bone wings and floated in the air. He held the Black Death Condensation Spear and stabbed downwards with the Thunderskull Emperor. This time it was just a tentative attack, but the damage caused was beyond his expectation. Minus 273,429, triggers the Black Death effect. Qin Zi was not surprised at all when the Thunder Skeleton Emperor flew backwards, but he was shocked by the damage he caused. He dealt 270,000 damage at once. Wouldn't it be enough to kill General Black Sun with just a few shots? Ouch, I'm going to eat you, I'm going to eat you. From the ruins of the mansion, General Black Sun's angry roar came, and a strong cyclone exploded with sudden impact, shattering the walls made of red stone bricks and sending the Queen of Darkness and the 5 generals staggering. Qin Zi flapped his bone wings. He also went back several meters. There is no doubt that General Black Sun was angry. His figure slowly emerged from the ruins of the mansion. The fat all over his body was gone. Instead, it turned into a rotating hard cuticle that resembled flower bones and looked a bit like crocodile skin. The Thunder Skeleton King had just kicked it, causing a few hundred damage and being thrown away. There is no doubt that this is the Black Sun shield made of fat. You want to eat me? I want to eat you too? Qin Zi spread his bone wings behind his back and immediately sneered back. Eat me? Presumptuous. You are presumptuous. General Black Sun was so angry that he was trembling, and the fat mass on his body began to rotate and bulge, and then he sprinted out. Open black lens bracket. Black Sun meet Thorn close black lens bracket. The Kingdom of Bones. Underworld's right hand. The soul of a heavy shield professional is injected into it. The aura of the undead was swirling around and immediately gathered at one point following Qin Zi's guidance. Advertisement. Dense crescent bones are intertwined with each other, forming an extremely thick door-shaped heavy shield. The Black Sun flesh thorn hit it, and several spikes came out, and then they rotated and drilled inside. The tightly held crescent bones were pried apart one by one and then shattered. Although General Black Sun has low agility, his fat attack method can solve this problem very well. It is semi-range, and coupled with his extremely thick blood volume, he is really capable of both offense and defense. But the weaknesses are also obvious. Then the attack is too clumsy. The bone wing shook slightly, and Qin Zi bypassed the heavy moonbone shield in front, holding the Black Death Condensation Explosion spear in his hand and dived towards General Black Sun. The food is delivered to your door, hee hee hee. General Black Sun licked his thick lips, and then 2 Black Sun flesh thorns appeared on his body again, and combined with the previous one, they attacked Qin Zi. He knows that the black spear in Qin Zi's hand has a strong restraint effect on him. He also knows that the black spear can quickly grow in length, but but he will never give the other party a chance to attack him again. The flesh thorn changes again, and small disc-shaped fangs appear at the front end, which can rotate rapidly. Excellent shield-breaking effect. The heavy bone shield used by Qin again had little effect, and the 3 flesh thorns were destroyed in 1 second. Come out, forbidden touch. Qin eyes glowed brightly, and the space quickly split around him. The forbidden touch rushed out from it and hit the flesh thorn hard. The mouth on the surface of the tentacle opened wide and it bit when it went up. Your methods have begun to repeat. A smile appeared on General Black Sun's face. You are finished and will become my food. Oh, is it so? The taboo touch began to tremble, and the body suddenly collapsed. Qin floated in the only small space, surrounded by Black Sun flesh thorns. But there was no panic in his expression. What? Seeing his confident look, General Black Sun instinctively felt something was wrong. He looked around at the situation again, but still didn't find anything. I still have the advantage. If that's the case, then go die. General Black Sun stood in the realm of the Kingdom of Bones. The aura of the undead quietly gathered behind his head, forming a white bone claw. The sharp claws were extremely sharp. This alone obviously cannot inflict a devastating blow to General Black Sun, and the Black Death pathogen has begun to gather at his fingertips, with the concentration rapidly increasing. After the concentration reached its extreme, it suddenly rushed into reality from the Kingdom of Bones and struck directly at the back of General Black Sun's head. Advertisement, General Black Sun trembled all over and felt a chill at the back of his head. He didn't bother to surround Qin with the Black Sun flesh thorns, but made him quickly retract to defend himself. Bankai. The bone claws full of Black Death pathogen stabbed directly into the back of the head. The Black Death's condensation exploding spear suddenly sprang out from the bone fingers, and then exploded in the head of General Black Sun. -899,999. The fatal blow of the Black Death. This is exactly the new posture Qin learned from the Thunder Skeleton Emperor. Huh. Why are you still short of 100,000 HP? Quick, take off his head. When Qin saw that there was still a little blood left, he couldn't hold himself any longer. It stands to reason that if the Black Death's explosive spear penetrates the body of General Black Sun, it will cause structural damage to the opponent's body, which means that he cannot regenerate. So General Black Sun should have died directly, but now it is obvious that something went wrong. Bankai. The skull bone claws inserted into General Black Sun's head, and then he pushed back hard. A huge head was torn off, leaving only a headless body spurting black blood, seemingly inactive. -59,999. Fatal effect triggered. Why aren't you dead yet? Pin Shishi is here. Qin eyes widened, thinking about inserting the Black Death blasting spear through the scar at the mouth of the bowl, and then stirring it up. It should be over. Next moment, the terrifying screams of insects suddenly sounded from the flesh mountain of General Black Sun. Damn it, you scared me. Qin was startled, and then he saw a 10,000-legged insect as thick as a basketball springing out from the scar at the mouth of the bowl, then bending its body like a snake, opening its claws at Qin and hissing loudly. Immediately afterwards, the lump of flesh that had lost its vitality slowly stood up again. It looked like he couldn't walk, he was swaying on the ground and kept falling. So disgusting. Forget it, I won't eat you anymore. Qin face was full of disgust, but then he realized something in his heart. At the end of the road of divine transformation, is it eaten by worms or becomes an adult? Chapter 104 Hidden Merit and Fame. Squeak 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 squeak. A long and narrow centipede flew out from General Black Sun's neck, its body twisting in the air like a snake, its densely packed thin legs swaying around. But the body of General Black Sun below seemed to be drunk, spinning back and forth on the ground, unable to stand at all. The long insect that sprang out seemed to know that Qin was a threat, and it tried its best to adapt to the new body. The dark insect eyes stared at Qin. The claws that were constantly opening and closing actually spit out human language. Eat. I'm going to eat you. It sounds a bit like the tone of General Black Sun. General Black Sun, have you merged with this insect? Consciousness synchronization? I'll go, I'm a bit nervous for no reason. Qin had goosebumps all over his body. Who could have thought of this special code? How could he be so demeaning to himself? Even if his attributes could be doubled tenfold, he would not choose this route. My lord, I have no fear of disease. Let me go up and capture this insect. The Thunder Skeleton King volunteered to step forward, with a large amount of electric light flowing through his plasma muscles. He must have been ready. No need, and you may not be able to kill it in a short time. It will be troublesome if we let this bug recover. As you command, my lord. Qin floated in the air with his bone wings, and then carefully approached the ferocious long insect. The other party was obviously on guard and screamed crazily at Qin, trying to scare Qin away and buy time for his recovery. But in this way it exposes its attack range. Qin stuck around and observed, making the ferocious long insect very irritable. Spread the epidemic among the crows. As Qin's voice fell, thousands of infected black crows rushed out towards Chong. The ferocious long insect immediately responded in panic, but the infected black crow exploded directly in front of it, and the fine flesh and blood covered the insect's face and its long and narrow insect body. The two pathogens immediately began to fight fiercely, and General Black Sun was even more stunned. Twitching on the ground, Black Death condensation spear. The black spear extended down and penetrated the insect's body. The Black Death taboo. Advertisement. Seeing the ferocious longworms huddled together, Qin immediately released a black mist-like pathogen, which quickly enveloped the longworms and began to engulf and erode them at the cellular level. Your Black Death is devouring and absorbing the Holy King insect, please wait. Moving or attacking will interrupt this process. Congratulations, you triggered the hidden mission, the truth about ancient diseases. Trigger hidden heritage sacred source. A series of prompts sounded in his ears, but Qin couldn't pay attention to them. Because he has entered a state of enlightenment this time, he can continue to comprehend. When the Black Death devoured and absorbed the Holy Royal Family, he could also sense that he had a comprehensive understanding of the evolution of the Holy King insect and the causes of the entire ancient disease. To put it bluntly, this ancient disease is a parasitic disease. The Holy Royal Family will be infected with the ancient disease and then reach the stage of symbiosis with the Holy King insect. The so-called 3 stages of divine transformation are not human transformation, but the 3 stages of insect transformation. Each time it grows, it gives the host more power. After the 3rd stage of cocooning, what finally emerges is a human-insect fusion, or simply an insect. Congratulations, successful swallowing and absorption. Black Death release scale plus 200%, pathogen release speed plus 200%, Black Death intensity plus 200%. Congratulations, you successfully killed the final boss of the main dungeon, General Black Sun, and completed your first kill. Experience gained. 1 million, treasure chests obtained. First kill treasure chest 1, Black Sun big treasure chest 1, perfect treasure chest 1, shining level equipment treasure box 2, collect 5 shining level equipment treasure boxes, and a set will be issued with a high probability. Faction points. 1 million, the Bobo people will be grateful to you and regard you as the only true god. Congratulations, General Black Sun has died, and the main story copy Dusk Plains has obtained a normal ending. The Bobo people can finally live a peaceful and stable life, but the haze of the castle always hangs over their heads. Fortunately, the castle will remain silent after decades of research. Close black lens bracket. It took a total of 6 days, 09 hours, 27 minutes and 34 seconds to gain control of the main dungeon, and successfully obtained the first clearance record. Note: overthrowing the castle is regarded as a permanent end. The main dungeon Dusk Plain will be permanently closed, and monsters and camp tasks will be repeatedly provided based on the experience and route of the passers. No behavior can change the direction of the dungeon, and cannot be linked to affect other main dungeons. Congratulations, you have successfully upgraded to LV.25, with all attributes plus 2, free attributes plus 6, blood volume plus 1000, and mana volume plus 500. You have obtained the qualification for the first job transfer. After the job transfer is successful, all basic attributes will be a substantial increase. Close black lens bracket. So, everything here really happens in a certain spatial dimension? And if I clear all levels here, Dusk Plains will be used as a video copy, repeatedly provided to other players to gain experience and equipment? Then everything that happened here could really be tipped off to the Black Emperor in the Central District. It seems interesting. Although Qin has not experienced many dungeons, this is obviously a complete dungeon world. Those old guys in the Central District don't know what kind of difficulties they're facing. Life doesn't seem to be easy. Anyway, let's get the job transfer done first. The Bobo people's magic body greatly increases the upper limit of mana, which is still very good. Then there is no need to consider the mana consumption, just throw skills like crazy, can. This is a huge improvement for me. Advertisement. Hey, where are my teammates? So here, hiss. There is such a strong smell of urine. When Qin discovered Lu Yang and Mu Shui, he found them hiding in a corner. One by one, they collapsed on the ground, with the panic on their faces not dissipating. When Lu Yang saw Qin standing in front of him, he burst into tears. Father, you are so strong, I thought I would never see you again. How powerful is General Black Sun? Let me take a look. I don't dare to look at the information panel again. With more than 10,000 power attributes, is that something we can touch? Damn it, my strength attribute just exceeded 100. Mu Shui blocked Xiaochang's nose and said coquettishly, who is angry? Then they all looked at Sun Yunlong. After all, the middle-aged uncle was a bit careless. It's not me, it's not me. Sun Yunlong looked very aggrieved. Not you? Everyone looked at me and I looked at you, and the atmosphere was a bit awkward. At this time, Catwoman silently raised her hand. I've been a little angry these past 2 days, meow. Everyone. Now the case is solved. Of the 5 people in the team, 4 of them had their pants wet, and they returned to the Bobo City again. What? Did you kill General Black Sun? Xiao Chongchong stared at Qin dumbfounded, incredulous. Immediately, when the news actually reached the city, people in Bobo filled the city with joy. General Black Sun's cruel oppression finally came to an end. They don't have to live in fear. Xiao Chongchong, are you ready for the magic body, the inheritance of our Bobo people? Whether to accept the inheritance of the Bobo people and the magic body, or accept the hidden inheritance and come from the same source. Then I must choose to hide it. The second, chapter 105, doing it for nothing? Announcement. Qin team has completed the first kill of the final boss in the nightmare level main story dungeon Dusk Plains. Obtained first kill treasure chest 1. Announcement. Qin team chose the Bobo camp, crushed the evil forces of the Holy Royal Family, and successfully cleared the nightmare level main story dungeon Dusk Plain, with an exploration rate of 80%, surpassing the 37% exploration rate of professional Li Xingong. Professional Li Xingong lost control of the main dungeon Dusk Plains. Professor Qin Zi obtains control of the main dungeon Dusk Plains. A series of announcements sounded throughout Linhai City, instantly making everyone stunned. This news was like a bombshell, making people's heads buzz. Even the Black Abyss announcement is a bit unbelievable. Is this a nightmare-level mainline dungeon that you can clear just like that? And it's a one-time use? Qin Zi, is this a macho man who descended from the sky? You must know that Li's company has been stationed in Linhai City for more than 10 years, mainly studying and exploring the main dungeon Dusk Plains, constantly jumping back and forth between the camps of the Holy Royal Family and the Bobo human world, and finally only reached an exploration level of 37%. And they directly killed the final boss, General Black Sun. Impossible, absolutely impossible. General Black Sun cannot be killed by professionals at all. If you say that Qin Zi helped the Holy Royal Family to kill the Bobo people, I still believe some. If you say that General Black Sun can be killed, I will die. Do not believe. There must be some accident here, or there must be some bug in Qin Zi. Things will definitely be reversed, please, they must be reversed. The first person to start wailing is the company dog. When the low-level professionals began to resist the company, these people did not hesitate to stab everyone in the back, licked Li's company like a lapdog, and swore at the rebellious low-level professionals. Now that Qin Zi has really cleared the main dungeon, he is the most helpless. They are the ones who accept it. But no matter how unacceptable it was, the black lightning over Linhai City began to disperse. The bright blue sky finally appeared above everyone's heads, and the sunshine poured down for the first time in a long time. Ha ha ha, you are worthy of being boss Qin Zi. He has actually cleared the nightmare-level main story dungeon. He will be the pride of our Linhai City. If anyone goes to other places and is looked down upon by others, please use my name as boss Qin Zi. Make sure you move it without making a sound. Where are those noisy company dogs from before? They were barking. Why don't they bark anymore? They are a bunch of spineless people. They just rush forward with their heads shaking when they are given a piece of shit. They want to kneel down to others. Their servility is really disgusting. That's right, I strongly recommend that the official register all these company dogs. They are not allowed to enjoy the rights that Qin Zi has fought for. If they like to chase the company to beg for food, let them keep running. I'm really proud of myself. Not just ordinary company dogs, but I still remember that those celebrities in Big vs. All came to support Li's company at that time. No one could be spared. They liked to act according to the wind and be a wallflower. They all had to be allowed to do so. They learn a lesson. Advertisement, we both want and want. How can we get so many good things from there? Lower-level professionals are clamoring for severe punishment of company dogs. We can't let them take advantage of both sides. There are also those big celebrity Vs, even one of them is not allowed to run away. In the official building of Linhai City, all the serious-faced executives could not help but smile with excitement and surprise. Qin Zi's move directly destroyed the foundation of Li's company. Linhai City is really going to change. That's great. This kid Qin Zi will probably make Li's company very angry now. Haha. What's wrong with the people in the Li family's headquarters? It's not like they can't stop Qin Zi. As long as he dares to touch Qin Zi, that's a signal for the Li family to start war with the authorities. Do they dare to do this? I'm afraid the other 4 super aristocratic families also hope that there will be one less super aristocratic family to share the cake. Tang Zhu sat in his seat, pondered for a moment and then said. The people hate backstabbers so much, it's useless for us to keep these people. You can compile the list and let them follow Li's company. There are also those celebrity verses on the platform who have openly defied the authorities. Now it is time to investigate their crimes. Next, we will reorganize Linhai City and give the people of Linhai City and all lower-level professionals a bright and blue sky. A few words, and the people who spoke them immediately became excited. Has the day finally come when Linhai City changes its face? Marvelous. At the same time, on the top floor of Li's company building, rapid chanting filled the room, and the 5-pointed star magic circle rotated on the ground, emitting a bleeding scarlet light. Li Wei sat cross-legged in the middle, his head lowered and his hands clasped together. Scattered next to him were a dozen empty oversized bottles of blue pills. Advertisement. This is a super power crystal. If you eat it, you can increase your strength attribute by 50 points. This is a tree branch in the sky. It can enhance your mental power and control the insect body. Li Xingong, you can't sleep. Use your will to suppress the sacred king insect in your body. Just survive this period. I will help you create the most perfect adult insect. When the time comes, combined with the Bobo people's magic body, you can perfectly control this insect. Force. Understand? Li Wei saw that Li Xingong couldn't bear it anymore and immediately scolded him sharply. The roar accompanied by the shock skill immediately shook Li Xinggang's body. Li Xing just reacted and quickly continued the 3 stages of divine transformation. I understand. I will live up to my family's cultivation. Li Wei's expression eased a lot. This time, our family invested a lot in the hidden inheritance of the main dungeon in Linhai City. During this period, every treasure he took out was of great value. They are all rare in the market, but if they can succeed, create the perfect Holy King insect, and let Li Xinggong use the Bobo Man's magical energy body to go through the 3 stages of transformation, then all investment will be returned tenfold in value. At the same time, this also means that they can use the path of divine transformation to mass-produce super powerful professionals, and the strategic significance is self-evident. Moreover, with each transformation, the attributes will be doubled. The superpower stone invested just now has plus 50 points of strength under normal circumstances, but if it is invested in the third stage of sacred transformation, it will be tripled. One can be used for 3, and its strategic value is huge. And he himself invested a lot into this plan, however, it's all worth it. Gudong, gudong, gudong. Li Wei took out another super blue medicine bottle, raised his head and started pouring it down his throat. Mana volume plus 500, mana volume plus 500, mana volume plus 500. Just then, the announcement sounded. Qin Zi's team defeated the final boss, General Black Sun, and gained control of the main dungeon. Bang! The super blue medicine bottle smashed to pieces on the ground. What's the situation? Has Qin Zi cleared the main dungeon? Li Wei stared blankly at Li Xinggong, who was crying and twisted. I was speechless for a long time. All the hard work is for nothing? Chapter 106 The Secret That Cannot Be Told. After the final boss kill announcement sounded, Li Wei was stunned for more than 10 seconds. My brain, which has experienced great storms, is also shutting down at this moment. He really didn't want to admit that his investment was about to be wasted. After such a failure, I couldn't explain it to my family when I returned home, and I also had doubts about my abilities. What to do? Li Wei put aside his messy emotions and meditated intently. If Qin Zi controls the main dungeon, then he is fully capable of kicking Li Xinggong out of the main dungeon, Twilight Plains, and he is undergoing the third stage of divine transformation in the castle. Once out of a specific environment, Li Xinggong will definitely die, and this time the plan to come will also completely fail. First of all, Li Xinggong has to do his best to save it. I can't go back empty-handed. This is also my explanation to my family. It proves that the path of sacred transformation can completely allow a waste professional to gain the strength to leapfrog challenges after passing this path. Just 3 times the attribute points are enough to put others beyond their reach. As for Qin Zi's control of the main dungeon, which means he has control of this inheritance route, all he needs to do is negotiate cooperation and pay the money, and then sign a confidentiality agreement. I heard that Qin Zi owes Li's company 150 million won. Judging from his past behavior, he must be a person who loves money very much and likes prostitution for free. Then I'll let him have a good time for nothing. Generally, people like this who are blind to money can't see the huge value behind the entire inheritance route. This can no longer be measured by money. Li Wei quickly thought of a response strategy, called protecting Li Xinggong to death, so that the family could see the value of the inheritance line. Then he used money to stun Qin Zi and buy the exclusive inheritance rights of Linhai City mainline dungeon. From his perspective, Qin Zi could reap a large amount of money from the Li family without doing anything. But what he didn't expect was, Qin Zi's understanding of free prostitution is slightly different from his. You have chosen to hide the inheritance route. Trigger the hidden inheritance task chain. Please follow the task chain, otherwise the inheritance may fail. Qin Zi. Don't tell me, it's quite considerate. This saves him from having to collect information and investigate step by step. Hidden Mission 1. Accept the inheritance of the Bobo people and the magic body. Xiao Chongchong, can I accept your magic body inheritance? Of course, brother Qin Zi. You are now the great hero of our Bobo people. We will sing your name forever, build you a statue, and build a church for you, Xiao Chongchong said excitedly. The death of General Black Sun is really exciting. The huge boulder pressing on Bobo's heart finally disappeared. Well, thank you, statues and churches are unnecessary. Advertisement, you have to rely on yourselves after all. Only in this way can you be able to deal with the next crisis. I won't always be here, Qin Zi said lightly. He was also very happy that the Bobo people were completely liberated, but the final fate was still up to them. Brother Qin Zi, are you leaving? Xiao Chongchong's eyes were full of tears, full of reluctance. Almost, I'm going to visit the Black Emperor. Qin Zi looked at the distant sky. If nothing else happened, after finishing the main dungeon in Linhai City, he would follow his mentor to the central area. It is the convergence of the main lines of all local dungeons, and it is also the real stage for countless geniuses to compete. At the same time, there is also a world-class boss, the Black Emperor, sitting in charge. Naturally, he wanted to try it out. The Black Emperor? Xiao Chongchong's tear-filled eyes suddenly showed fear, and she covered her mouth and backed away. What's wrong? The Black Emperor is very scary, do you really want to go? The Holy Royal family are only loyal and surrendered to the Black Emperor. Under the Black Emperor, there are many cruel and murderous men like the Holy Royal family. I'm afraid of you, big brother, Xiao Chongchong said excitedly. Are you afraid that I will become a minion of the Black Emperor? No, 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 I'm afraid that big brother, you will be captured and killed by them. Haha, don't worry. If I can kill General Black Sun, I will have the confidence to escape. Qin Zi touched Xiao Chongchong's head and said with a smile. Xiao Chongchong, you must work hard in the future and become the support behind me. Before she finished speaking, Xiao Chongchong's eyes immediately brightened. I will. Xiao Chongchong nodded fiercely. What Qin Zi didn't know was that his casual words would create an extraordinary queen in the future. Place of inheritance of the Bobo people's magic body. This is an extremely old stone building. It was once occupied by the Holy Royal family, but instead of destroying this building, it was carefully protected. It is about the origin of the Bobo people. The Holy Royal family has tried their best to conduct research, but they have never been able to open the stone lock of the stone building. At this time, the Bobo people are gathering here and holding a grand inheritance ceremony. In their view, although Qin Zi is an outsider, he is fully qualified to inherit the magic body. Advertisement. Get inheritance, career change, open black lens bracket, please choose close black lens bracket. Qin Zi stood in front of the huge stone door, with two options appearing in front of him. If it is just inheritance, it means getting some attribute bonuses and inheritance characteristics, such as increasing the recovery speed of mana per second. It is not even a skill, it is just an increase in some values. But if it is a career change, it will have to be integrated with his current, undead summoner. It's still unclear what career he will change into in the end. The only thing that is certain is the undead system. I choose to change my career. Qin Zi made his choice without hesitation. In his understanding, career change is to help professionals tap into and develop deeper professional strengths. Choose successfully, start hiding inheritance and career change. As the prompt sounded, the stone door slowly opened. Stepping in, the ground is as sparkling as water. There were several stone pillars standing around, and there were faint sounds of chanting coming from all around. There is a large stone pool at the front, which is constantly overflowing with water, and then flows into the floor under your feet. Qin Zi felt very magical. He stepped hard on the ground and immediately made two big splashes. But he always stepped on the surface of the water and did not sink. This is the so-called magic power. Qin Zi has some understanding that he can bear everything and tolerate everything. As he continued to move closer to the magic energy pool, his perception of the magic energy became stronger. In the end, the magic liquid turned into several water columns and began to rotate around Qin Zi's body, and Qin Zi also entered a mysterious state. He seemed to have seen the past. Beautiful giant butterflies spread their rainbow-colored wings on the edge of the mana pool. The rainbow-colored magic energy fluctuates, making everything around you glow with life. Countless people knelt down under the fluctuations of magic energy, as small as a speck of dust. Qin Zi. Congratulations, you have obtained the Magic Body Professional Inheritance. Open Hidden Job Transfer Mission 2. Obtain the Perfect Holy King Insect. Chapter 107 Shining Suit. Congratulations, you have obtained the Perfect Magic Body Inheritance, the only one. All of your release blue bars are replaced by mana bars. The mana cost of skill release is minus 50%, and the skill release efficiency is plus 200%. You will be able to perceive the flow of mana more clearly when releasing skills, and it will be easier to comprehend new skills when releasing skills. It is easier to discover the essence of skills and explore the principles of skills. Magic energy can be embodied outside the body, and health can be restored after consumption, with a ratio of 1 to 1. You gain a source of magic energy, intelligence attribute plus 500, upper limit of magic energy plus 15000, and 100 points of magic energy restored per second. As the reminder sounded, the water column surrounding Qin Zi suddenly rushed into his body. At this moment, the door to the new world slowly opened in front of Qin Zi. That's outrageous. The entire blue strip I was given was replaced. Why did you add special effects to my panel? Originally, the blue bar was just like other professionals, just an ordinary long bar icon. After the amount of mana is consumed, it will be reduced proportionally. But now, the blue bar seems to have been upgraded from 2 dimensions to 5 dimensions, turning into a transparent container similar to crystal. The surface shines with colorful luster like diamonds, while inside, magic energy like water flows, following a certain cycle. Frequencies are constantly circulating. Will all my panels turn into special effects next? I've never seen anyone's panel on Duyan change to special effects. Am I the only one? As soon as Qin Zi's thoughts moved, magic energy surged out from his fingertips and flowed along his arms like weightlessness. He tasted it and it was extremely sweet, and his whole spirit felt much refreshed. The blood volume is full and cannot be restored. This thing is actually edible, can you believe it? It also has a refreshing effect. Qin Zi recalled the scene he had seen before. The colorful butterflies spread their colorful wings. Perhaps these magical energies were their food. Later, after a series of events, humans who knelt down to pray wanted to seize the magical energy and rob the butterfly insects of their power, eventually divided into 2 inheritances with different roots. Well, it should be like this. Having said that, the magic power inheritance bonus is so strong. If the job transfer is successful, wouldn't it be even more outrageous? And this perfect magic power inheritance is the only one. If others want to get the inheritance, they may have to get a castrated and crude version. Advertisement, of course, if someone performs particularly well, they may also get the official version. After the inheritance of the perfect magic body was completed, Qin Zi returned to the city of Bobo people. Now that he is at LV.25, he can find a place where no one is around, and open the treasure chest of shining equipment that is made up of the 5 Dragon Balls. The entire shining set, as well as the first pass treasure chest, the first kill treasure chest, and the record-breaking treasure chest. Treasure chests, etc. He almost had a warehouse of treasure chests alone. Fortunately, I don't need a key, otherwise I would have to go through a lot of trouble. At this time, Liu Yang and others were wrapped in Bobo's robes and walked out quite uncomfortably. Seeing this, Qin Zi couldn't help but ask, what's wrong with you? Why are you all wearing Bobo clothes? Wear your equipment and clothes. Liu Yang. I was frightened at the general's mansion just now. I ran for 2 steps in a panic, and then sat down in a puddle. I gave the equipment to the Bobo people and asked them to wash it for me. No, you and I remember that the general's mansion is quite dry. There are no puddles. Qin Zi scratched his head and then looked at the remaining people. Did you fall into the puddle too? Sun Yunlong blushed and said awkwardly, I don't know either. Catwoman. I was so scared, meow. As soon as these words came out, everyone immediately looked at her. Catwoman seemed confident. I'm no longer a human being. It's normal for me to be unable to control myself, meow. After listening to it, other people felt that it was slightly reasonable. Then, Qin looked at Mushui, who not only changed clothes but also took a shower. This cold and beautiful woman's fair and tender cheeks suddenly turned red. To be honest, who is a serious professional who will not be scared to death when he breaks into a dungeon? She also wanted to admit it openly, but when she saw Qin doubtful eyes, her voice suddenly got stuck. Forget it, it's not important. Qin waved his hand and explained to everyone. You don't have to follow me to the last castle. Take a good rest in the Bobo City. Let's go out again after I take care of everything. Mushui coughed dryly and almost suffered internal injuries. Advertisement. A strange desire to win suddenly burned in my heart. She looked at Qin leaving figure and wondered what she was thinking. It's time to open the treasure chest again. Let me see which lil cutie I favor first. Qin came to the secret room arranged for him by Xiao Chongchong, which was absolutely closed and undisturbed. You can open the treasure chest with confidence. First there are 5 sparkling level treasure boxes, arranged in a row, the exquisite boxes shining with rainbow luster. Then there are 2 first pass treasure chests, low-key and restrained, and there seems to be some powerful aura surging in them. Then there is General Black Sun's first kill treasure chest, which has General Black Sun's head printed on it, as well as a ferocious long worm rising into the sky. Click. Qin opened the shining level equipment treasure box. Rainbow light was immediately released from it, and a staff with an exquisite shape and engraved with black and purple gems appeared spinning. Open black lens bracket death staff close black lens bracket, sparkling equipment, exclusive for undead professions. Equipment level. LV.25, attribute bonus. Intelligence plus 300, strength plus 40, agility plus 40, death breath plus 10. Skill 1. Life deprivation. Consumes 1 to 10 breaths of death to deprive specific units of life, resulting in 100 to 1000 life drains per second, and 10 to 100 points of permanent attribute stealing, which can be transferred to any unit. It can permanently suppress units between life and death until the opponent dies or uses countermeasures to escape. Skill 2. Song of Death. Consumes 5 breaths of death to develop a death field with a radius of 50 meters. All undead units within this range will obtain effects such as immune control, self-inflation, and attribute absorption, and will have negative effects such as fear suppression, muscle loss, and skill failure on the enemy, and at the same time form a permanent suppression on the unit between life and death until the other party dies or escapes from trouble. Skill 3. Undead Summoning Enhancement. All undead summoning skills have no chanting time. After successful summoning, there is a chance to obtain Death Coil, Killing Ritual, Super Defense, Fog Interference, Fear Trample and other effect bonuses. At least one can be obtained and at most all can be obtained. The unit between it and the dead one will cause 2 times the damage, ignoring the effect of defense. Skill 4. Death Lightning. Wield the Death Staff and strike the enemy with a powerful lightning strike of death, causing 100,000 points of real death damage, and also comes with the prohibition of treatment, resurrection, and buff effects. Introduction. Congratulations, you have the equipment that all necromancers dream of, and you are invincible in single combat. Chapter 108 An Enchanting Skeleton. The Death Staff is specifically designed to target individuals between life and death. This is almost invincible in the Civil War. The skeleton monsters and undead summoned by others can be destroyed with just a wave of the hand. Wait a minute, is a creature that has entered the 3rd stage of divine transformation considered to be between death and life? After all, it is infected by an ancient disease, and then turns into something that is neither human nor ghost. This trip to the castle to find the perfect Holy King insect will be a sure thing. Directly suppress, no more beeps. Other shining level equipment treasure chests are opened one by one, and the bright light makes people feel happy. As expected, the result was a death suit. Death armor, intelligence plus 200, strength plus 150, agility plus 50, blood volume plus 200, death breath plus 10. Death breath can be extracted when enemies around you die, and the death breath storage limit is plus 500, providing death protection at any time. Shield. The shield amount is 5000 plus death breath plus 100, and it prevents enemies between life and death from getting close. Death cloak. Intelligence plus 225, agility plus 175, intelligence plus 50, HP plus 1500, death breath plus 15. You can ride the death breath into the sky and take off. The more death breath you consume, the faster and faster you will fly. Flexible. Provides a flying shield, which can effectively resist the invasion of wind, frost, fire and other elements. Death necklace. Intelligence plus 350. Agility plus 100, magic energy plus 1000, death breath plus 10, consumes the death breath to produce a large-scale death shockwave, and all creatures in this area will have their lives plundered and replenished to any unit. On the body, there is a probability of plundering vitality, lifespan, attributes, etc. Death boots. Intelligence plus 200, agility plus 200, breath of death plus 5, speed plus 500, can summon a death guard, cannot move, cannot attack, can detect the surrounding area, and shares the user's vision. Consume the breath of death to exchange the locations of both units, ignoring distance and field. Duration. 6 hours. Number of summons. 3/3. It also comes with a suit effect. Death is like the wind. When you suffer fatal damage, or when you actively avoid some damage, your body can be completely, partially dematerialized, immune to physical attacks, avoid some magic damage, and double the damage of sacred attributes. The Shining Level suit is truly extraordinary. Equipment specifically based on the Aura of Death, it can fight, run, and even change positions. As long as the teleportation point is set up, it is not too convenient to run back and forth. It can also play an unexpected role in close combat. Just with this set of sparkling equipment, I can fight the boss back and forth. The last castle area should be stable. You opened the treasure chest for the first pass of the dungeon and obtained Shining Level Prop Skytree Sapling. Skytree Sapling. The legendary magical tree that grows above the sky. It is extremely adaptable and can survive wherever it is sown. Deserts, oceans, rocks, especially clouds above the sky, etc., are sown in different locations. The effects after final growth are also very different. The rarer the place, the more likely the Skytree will have rare attributes. Isn't this just growing vegetables? My DNA moved. The Kingdom of Bones. As Qin Zi's voice sounded, a dark wind spread out around him. Advertisement white bones are looming in the black soil, and countless crescent bones stick out from the sky. Qin Zi took out the Skytree, and the crystal clear branches and leaves looked so pure and beautiful. He threw the Skytree out, and several skeleton arms sprang out from the soil, catching the thrown Skytree saplings, and then planted them into the pile of bones composed of skulls with great care. Crystal clear tree roots began to grow along the skull's eye sockets. Soon it was filled with piles of skeletons, and the crystal clear Skytree saplings swayed at the top. There is a strange and evil feeling in the purity. The Skytree saplings were successfully planted and are expected to grow to the next stage in 107 hours. 107 hours. Okay, as long as we can collect the vegetables, it doesn't matter how long it takes. You opened the treasure chest and obtained Ghost Summoning Technique, Skill Book. You opened the first kill treasure chest and obtained Black Sun General Summoning Technique, Skill Book. You opened the record-breaking treasure chest, obtained Plague Cauldron, Shining Prop. You opened the S-level perfect treasure chest, obtained Perspective Mirror, Sparkling Level Item. Qin Zi. Opening all the treasure chests in one breath felt like there were too many slots. The most outrageous thing among them is the X-ray lens. Am I that kind of person? Qin Zi took out the telescope first, and then looked around with interest. This telescope is really easy to use. You can clearly see the moths in the wooden piles, the cracks in the stones, and the energy trajectory in the treasures and equipment. Qin Zi walked out of the secret room and happened to see Mu Shui staring at the lake in a daze. Mu Shui glanced at him, her cheeks turned red and she said nothing. Taking out the telescope, I saw an enchanting skeleton standing there. I could vaguely see the heart beating wildly between the ribs. It should be over 120, while she herself was looking at the lake, acting very cold. Advertisement. Your heart is racing, almost bursting. Better go see a doctor. Mu Shui. Brother, do you really want to go to the castle on the top of the mountain? Xiao Chongchong looked at Qin Zi worriedly. It's very scary there. Our life is very good now, and they can't do anything to us for a while. I will work hard to build a city of Bobo people and cultivate an army of magic body Bobo people. Then I won't be afraid of them anymore. Brother, you don't need to take risks. A good person should do it to the end. I will not only do half of it. As soon as these words came out, Xiao Chongchong's eyes immediately burst into tears. Xiao Chongchong's favorability plus 300, professional Mu Shui favorability plus 500. Qin Zi. While I was feeling moved, something suddenly appeared. And it feels a little scary. I will place a death guard here for you. Others cannot enter this room, otherwise they may lose their lives. Yeah, brother, don't worry, no one will enter. Xiao Chongchong nodded seriously, with a hint of affection in her eyes. After Qin Zi placed the death guard in the room, he consumed 5 death breaths and shot straight up to the sky. At this moment, he was like Ultraman, with his arms spread out and he could fly freely without waving his wings at all. Action. Very convenient. Lu Yang. Father, I've set up a barbecue stall for you. Remember to eat meat when you come back. Sun Yunlong. I'm the best at barbecue, so I'll do it. Chapter 109. Sorry, Lando is so willful. The city of Bobo quickly zoomed out underfoot, and the houses were as small as matchboxes. The castle on the top of the mountain in the distance, the area shrouded in black poisonous gas for many years, is getting closer and closer. The feeling of free flying is really good. It is much more convenient than bone wings, and there is no need to unfold the front movement. You can fly away at any time by bending your legs. Wait, what is that? Qin Zi looked down and saw a huge stone sculpture with his face engraved on it. Dozens of Bobo people are pulling the rope to slowly erect the stone sculpture. Xiao Chongchong really built a stone sculpture for me. I don't know if there is such a thing as believing in a god in this world. If so, this city should be able to bring me a lot of faith. Forget it, let's take a look at the skills you can get from opening the treasure box this time. What I didn't expect the most was that General Black Sun could be summoned. It is said that General Black Sun's upper limit has been reached. What can be achieved by upgrading this kind of skill? Qin Zi glanced at the flight path, and then began to check the treasure box skill book he just opened. Ghost Summoning Technique. Summon a ghost with strange abilities to fight for you, 50% physical immunity, can pass through walls, can retrieve objects from the air, etc. Duration. 1 day, mana consumption, 500. It's only 500 mana points, who are you looking down on? Consume mana as hard as you can. Resonance Crystal, activate. Ghost Summoning Technique. Right pointing arrow continuously upgrading right pointing arrow, Ghost Warrior Summoning Technique. Please select a route, Special Monster, Hero Route. Hero Line. When the mana consumption is resolved, the number of summons is already exaggerated. What is lacking now is quality. Choose successfully. Summoning Technique of Netherworld Warriors. Right pointing arrow continuously upgrading right pointing arrow, Summoning Technique of Netherworld Iron Emperor. The Nether Iron Underworld Emperor. Summons the Underworld Emperor sitting on the Nether Iron Throne to fight for you and execute all orders. Duration. 1 day, mana consumption. 10,000. The Netherworld Emperor, the Iron Throne. It seems interesting. How about the actual combat? We still have to go to the castle to find someone to try it out. Next is the Summoning Technique of General Black Sun. On the cover of the skill book is printed the fat head of General Black Sun, as well as a terrifying long insect rising into the sky. Study, advertisement, congratulations, successful study. Summoning Technique of the General of the Black Sun. Summon the third stage of Divine Transformation, the failed General of the Black Sun. The ability is normal. Duration. 1 day, consumption of mana. 3,000. With the strength of General Black Sun, so much mana consumption is indeed worthwhile. Summoning Technique of the General of the Black Sun. Right pointing arrow continuously upgrading has reached the upper limit. Right pointing arrow, Sacred King Insect Summoning Technique of the General of the Black Sun. Holy King Insect Black Sun General Summoning Technique. Summons the Black Sun General after the Holy King Insect has fully resurrected. Duration. 1 day, mana consumption. 5,000. This should be like a worm growing out of your neck. I haven't seen its true strength yet. But 5,000 mana already explains everything. Wait a minute, this is wrong. The skill upgrade system previously stated that there is no upper limit for upgrades. Why has it reached the upper limit now? Even if General Black Sun reaches the upper limit, it cannot stop. The upper limit has been exceeded. Continue to upgrade. Holy King Insect Summoning Technique of the General of the Black Sun. Right pointing arrow break limit upgrade right pointing arrow. Imagination level Summoning Technique of the General of the Black Sun. Chin Z. The imagination level has already been released. Is this a conceptual approach? Imagination level. General Black Sun Summoning Technique. Summon the Black Sun General to look like your ideal self, and fight for you. Duration. 1 day, mana cost. 12,000. Here I go. The mana cost is higher than that of the Nether Iron Emperor. You can really look forward to it. In General Black Sun's mind, his most ideal appearance should be to successfully pass through the 3 stages of divine transformation and reach the final form. Finally, there is a shining item, Plague Cauldron. The name sounds like it has something to do with the disease department. Plague Cauldron, sparkling level, it can store a variety of disease pathogens. After a period of devouring and evolving, a comprehensive pathogen is produced, which is fully controlled by the user. Disease System Understanding plus 10%, Disease System Spells are released speed plus 50%, Pathogen Diffusion speed plus 50%. Users can gain a deeper understanding of pathogens through observation and experiments. Nice one. It is worthy of being a shining level. It can be said to be an artifact of disease spells. And once the disease system has studied the pathogen, it will be difficult to continue to delve deeper. The Plague Cauldron will undoubtedly help me break the shackles. Chin Z turned his right hand, and a palm-sized ornate gold-patterned square tripod appeared in his hand. It was equipped with 4 diamond-shaped metal objects. It would automatically unfold after being pulled up, revealing the observation glass inside. The activities of pathogens could be directly seen with the naked eye. At the same time, there are 4 spaces inside, where experiments can be conducted separately. Comes with built-in cleaning capabilities to create an experimental environment without interference from external factors. If the castle of the Holy Royal Family saw this, they would die of envy. The Black Death pathogen spilled out from Shinzi's fingertips, then put a little bit into the mouth of the Plague Cauldron, and then passed in one after another. Plague Cauldron, Pathogen Equipment plus 1, Advertisement. Open black lens bracket Black Death close black lens bracket. After the inventory of the last prop was completed, Shinzi arrived at the mountaintop villa. The place is filled with thick black fog toxins, which are undoubtedly ancient diseases. Shinzi immediately took out the plague tripod and prepared to enter it. Then it prompted that the entry failed. Entry failed, there is no disease pathogen in the toxin. Shinzi was stunned for a moment, and then he quickly understood it with his understanding of the disease system. The underlying logic of ancient diseases is parasites, which are the colorful butterfly insects he saw during his previous inheritance. The pathogens should be their eggs, and the black mist in the air is just toxins at most. If you want to register an ancient disease, you have to find the eggs. There should be quite a few castles on the top of the mountain. When Shinzi came to the castle, the thick copper door was tightly closed, and there was no movement at all inside. The entire castle seemed to have been reduced to a dead city. The city wall fortress between the overlapping dead branches gives a faint sense of decay. Playing dead? Come out, my forbidden touch. Shinzi raised the death staff in his hand, and several auras of death surrounded him. The space cracked open around him one after another, and taboo touches with mouths sprang out. Swish, swish, swish. A big hole was created outside the castle, inside the castle, in the garden, and even the fortress house by the taboo. Densely packed taboo touches sprouted up like bamboo shoots after rain, occupying the entire mountaintop castle. From a distance, it looks like this area is covered with thick seaweed. There were tens of thousands of them, and panicked shouts came from the castle. Ah, what is this? The tentacle still has its mouth open. It ate my right leg. Damn it, spread the poison quickly and make these tentacles wither away. Shin Zi was the first in history to use so many tentacles to explore the path. Shin Zi. There is no way, Lando is willful.